Chapter 1305. Parking the car in the parking lot in front of the Songjiang International Hotel, Yang Ming waved his hand to stop the parking security guard from coming forward. He didn't want to reveal his identity at this time. Then, there would be no shock effect. To let Su Qianqing know the difficulties and retreat, he still needed to emphasize some means. Su Qianqing's cheetah was parked next to Yang Ming's car, and the two cars were side by side. Su Qianqing got off the car and complained with some dissatisfaction. "Why did we just back out? We didn't have to back out. I just made a call, and it was all done. Why bother?" Yang Ming smiled and waved his hand. "Back out and save us the trouble. Besides, we don't really have official duties." Su Qianqing didn't recognize the pass on the windshield of Yang Ming's car. He naturally hadn't seen this before. He thought it was an ordinary pass for a university, community, or other places. In his heart, he thought that Yang Ming's car was an ordinary car. He was afraid that he would be implicated, so he gave in. "So," he said, "that's right. My car is fine, but your car will definitely not give me face. After all, it was commuting time. The traffic police will give me face. If you don't give in, you will definitely be detained." Lin Jiyun heard it clearly on the side. Although she was simple, she also knew that if it weren't for Yang Ming, Su Qianqing's car would definitely be detained. However, Lin Jiyun wasn't a person who liked to show off. Although she was angry, she didn't say anything. Yang Ming naturally wouldn't say anything. There were some things that didn't need to be said to Su Qianqing. His purpose was just to let Lin Jiyun see this person's face so that she wouldn't be deceived by him. Yang Ming was too lazy to argue with Su Qianqing on these little things. He would let him slowly understand it himself. Su Qianqing was not stupid. Although he said so, he was not an idiot. He still had doubts about how Yang Ming could escape unscathed. So, he inadvertently used his mobile phone to take a picture of the pass on the windshield of Yang Ming's car. He planned to ask his father when he returned home to see if his father knew what this was. Of course, he didn't forget Yang Ming's car number. He planned to go back and ask his father to check through the traffic police to see if this car was Yang Ming's. Su Qianqing now regretted it a little. If Yang Ming could afford to drive a BMW, then it was impossible that he had never been to the Songjiang International Hotel before. Since this was the case, then he had nothing to show off. He became a sucker for no reason. Thinking that he would have to spend tens of thousands or even tens of thousands in a while, he nodded his head and secretly calculated whether it was worth it. As Su Qianqing walked, he secretly observed Lin Jiyun's reaction, but he was disappointed. Lin Jiyun's face did not show any expression of envy, surprise, or even love for this place. Lin Jiyun was a girl with a heart as calm as still water, but she was also a very weak and shy girl. She was a little timid when she went on stage at the art festival, but she could not show her timidity on this occasion. What did that mean? It could only mean that Lin Jiyun was a regular here, and there was nothing strange about this place. Su Qianqing felt that he seemed to have made a big mistake. He shouldn't use common sense to guess Lin Jiyun's family background, and he shouldn't use showing off to attract her attention and admiration. From Lin Jiyun's mobile phone before, it could be seen that this girl's family background was definitely not bad. Now, she could be very open in the Songjiang International Hotel, which confirmed this point. Su Qianqing felt that he had made a bad move. His previous showing off and actions had completely become a clown's act, which made him a little embarrassed and blushed. The three people entered the lobby of the Songjiang International Hotel together. The lobby manager was not there, so Yang Ming was relieved. Yang Ming had never seen the receptionists at the front desk before. It seemed that they were newly recruited, and they did not recognize Yang Ming. However, since he had already come here, Su Qianqing couldn't let Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun look down on him. If he retreated at this time, it would only make Lin Jiyun's impression of him worse, so Su Qianqing had to pretend to be strong. "I want a private room." Su Qianqing walked to the front desk and said to one of the receptionists, "Sir, do you have an appointment?" The receptionist looked up and asked very kindly. No, can't I book one now? Asked Su Qianqing. I'm sorry, sir. It is mealtime now. If you don't have an appointment, there is no private room. The receptionist shook her head apologetically. Su Qianqing was pushed back, and he lost some face. His face was a little ugly, but the receptionist was polite, so he couldn't be angry. Moreover, he also heard from his father that the background of the Songjiang International Hotel was very strong. There seemed to be a large group behind it. Even he couldn't afford to provoke it. Forget it if there is no private room. It is the same in the lobby. Yang Ming didn't care when he saw that there was no private room. He smiled and said, Yeah, then it is fine in the lobby. Lin Jiyun also nodded and added. Originally, Su Qianqing thought that with Yang Ming's words as an excuse, he would just comply and eat in the lobby. However, when he heard Lin Jiyun's words, Su Qianqing's heart began to feel angry again. He listened to Lin Jiyun's words as if she was looking down on him, so Su Qianqing started to complain. Is your lobby manager here? I know him. Su Qianqing said to the receptionist. Many people who came here to eat had a background. The receptionist glanced at Su Qianqing and didn't dare to offend him, so she said, Sir, please wait a moment. I will call you. Su Qianqing nodded and agreed. He stood aside and waited for the receptionist to make the call. The call was connected, and the receptionist said a few words. The general idea was that there were a few guests who wanted to see him and asked him to come over. After listening to the call from the receptionist, Su Qianqing was relieved. His father often ate here and entertained customers. The lobby manager would definitely give him face, so he said to Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun, My father knows the lobby manager here. I will ask him for a private room in a while. How can we eat in the lobby? Otherwise, it will be inconvenient for us to talk. Yang Ming smiled and didn't say anything. He blamed Su Qianqing for being a busybody. He was afraid that when the lobby manager came and recognized him, it would let Su Qianqing know some of his things. He was ready to show his cards to Su Qianqing at the end. Only after experiencing a series of things and telling Su Qianqing his identity could he really shock him. Otherwise, the power of shock would definitely not be enough. If Su Qianqing continued to pester Lin Jiyun, Yang Ming really didn't have time to accompany him. Before Yang Ming could say anything, he saw the lobby manager come out from an office on the side. Yang Ming wanted to speak and block the lobby manager's mouth first, but Su Qianqing spoke first. Manager, hello, I am the son of Su Yimin from the mining company. Su Qianqing saw the lobby manager walking toward him quickly, and he thought that he was really valued. So he also walked forward and wanted to shake hands with the lobby manager enthusiastically. But helplessly, the lobby manager didn't care about him, but passed by him and went straight to Yang Ming behind him. Mr. Yang, you are here. Yang Ming really didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He thought, Su Qianqing keeps calling you over there, but you don't care about him. I don't want to care about you, but you just have to come over. What's going on here? Su Qianqing's expression was frozen. He was stunned there, and his face was filled with resentment and embarrassment. He was ignored. It could be said that he was completely ignored. He used his hot face to stick to the cold butt of others, but he was ruthlessly ignored by others. That Yang Ming, I don't know what ability he has, but he is received so warmly by the lobby manager. Su Qianqing was a little out of breath. This is the second time, or the third time, if you count the time when I was detained by the traffic police. I have been ridiculed by Yang Ming 3 times. Perhaps it wasn't Yang Ming ridiculing him, but he was humiliating himself. Every time he wanted to show off in front of Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun and wanted to show his charm and ability, he was ruthlessly robbed of the limelight by Yang Ming. Yang Ming repeatedly signaled to the lobby manager, but it took a while for the lobby manager to react. He turned around and looked at Su Qianqing. Oh, it turns out to be young Master Su. Although the lobby manager smiled at him, Su Qianqing didn't have the kind of high and mighty pleasure. Instead, he felt very ashamed. Obviously, no matter how the lobby manager treated him now, the scene just now had been deeply rooted in Su Qianqing's heart, like a thorn piercing into Su Qianqing's body. In any case, Yang Ming's position in the lobby manager's heart must be far higher than Su Qianqing's, so Su Qianqing's face today was lost to his grandmother. I brought a friend to eat. Mr. Yang, you also know him. I want a private room. The receptionist said that there is no room if there is no reservation. What do you think? Although he was very embarrassed in his heart, he still had to say it. Su Qianqing took a breath and asked. Isn't it just a private room? It's easy. The lobby manager walked to the receptionist who called before and said to her, Zhao, you look. Which private room is available? The environment must be good. Yes. The receptionist named Zhao quickly logged into the computer and checked. She looked up and said, experienced, room 2108 on the second floor has no guests. The environment is also the best. Then 2108. I don't know if young Master Su is satisfied? The lobby manager asked Su Qianqing with a smile. Su Qianqing didn't know which private room was good, but since the receptionist said that 2108 was the best, how could he have any opinion? What's more, now it was hard to say whether the lobby manager was giving face to Su Qianqing or Yang Ming. Su Qianqing just wanted to go upstairs to eat quickly and didn't want to say anything more. Okay, then 2108 it is. Su Qianqing nodded. I will take you up. After the lobby manager finished speaking, she looked at Yang Ming again as if she was asking for his opinion. Until Yang Ming nodded helplessly, the lobby manager moved. This small detail naturally fell into Su Qianqing's eyes. Su Qianqing was completely desperate. It seemed that the lobby manager really gave face to Yang Ming to find a private room. Asking if he was satisfied was just a formality. The real question was still Yang Ming. Seeing that Su Qianqing nodded, the lobby manager moved to take them up. Moreover, it was originally an extremely glorious thing to be taken upstairs by the lobby manager personally. His father had never enjoyed this kind of treatment, but now Su Qianqing was not happy at all. Instead, he felt very embarrassed. All of this seemed to be giving face to him, but in fact, the face was given to Yang Ming. How could this not make him embarrassed? Finally entering the private room, Su Qianqing breathed a sigh of relief. Yang Ming also saw his discomfort. He wanted to give him a shock at the end, but now it seemed impossible. This guy must have started to be careful. The lobby manager naturally had other things to do, and he also saw that Yang Ming didn't want him to stay here, so he went upstairs and let a waiter come in to order. The successive failures made Su Qianqing lose some interest. He lost face several times in front of Yang Ming. Su Qianqing felt a little like sitting on pins and needles. He picked up the menu, but he didn't know what to order. He didn't have the demeanor that the student union president should have. He just flipped through it a few times and pushed the menu in front of Yang Ming. Then, he said, "You can order." Yang Ming didn't ask Lin Jian. He knew what Lin Jian liked to eat. He ordered a few dishes that Lin Jian liked to eat and a few that he liked. Yang Ming was busy for the whole afternoon and didn't eat anything. At this time, he naturally had to eat more. Listening to the names of a few dishes that Yang Ming ordered, Su Qianqing's eyes twitched. No way. Oh, my goodness. What big lobster, big crab. How much is this? In fact, the price of these dishes was very expensive, but the production cost was not much. Yang Ming came here to eat, which was equivalent to eating his own food. So, in the end, he only paid the cost, so he didn't feel much heartache. So, he ordered some of the things that he and Lin Jian liked to eat. Because Yang Ming didn't want Su Qianqing to pay the bill in the end, Yang Ming just wanted to play with him. Yang Ming knew that the lobby manager would definitely waive the bill in the end, so there was no need to save money for Yang Ming. But Su Qianqing didn't know this. The more he listened to the dishes that Yang Ming ordered, the more his heart beat. Isn't he trying to cheat me? He was clear about the level of consumption here. The things that Yang Ming wanted added up to at least 30 to 40,000 yuan. How could he afford it? But now, if he stopped Yang Ming and said that he didn't want these dishes, it would seem that he was too petty. Since he invited Yang Ming to a meal, wouldn't it be a joke if he couldn't afford it? Finally, Yang Ming finished ordering the dishes, and Su Qianqing's heart was bleeding. He breathed a sigh of relief, but he saw that Yang Ming returned the menu to Su Qianqing and said, "I have finished ordering. What else do you want to order?" How could Su Qianqing ask for anything else? After a rough calculation, the things that Yang Ming wanted were at least 50,000 yuan. Su Qianqing didn't dare to ask for more urgently. He said, "That's all. I think it's almost enough." "Right, Lin Jiyun, what do you want?" Just now, only Yang Ming was ordering, and Lin Jiyun didn't speak at all. Although Su Qianqing was distressed about the money, this meal was for Lin Jiyun, so he suddenly remembered that if Lin Jiyun didn't order, wouldn't it be equivalent to inviting Yang Ming? Therefore, even if his heart was bleeding, and he was reluctant, he had to let Lin Jiyun order a few more dishes. Su Qianqing gritted his teeth. He decided to apply for some money to pick up girls when he went back. His father was also urging him to find a girlfriend. He believed that if he used this reason to ask for money, his father would give it to him, right? Su Qianqing's family was rich. To be honest, these tens of thousands of yuan were nothing to his family, but his family was rich, but it didn't mean that Su Qianqing had a lot of pocket money. Therefore, Su Qianqing's heart was bleeding. Now that he had figured this out, as long as he used it to chase girls, he believed that his father would give him a lot of money. Su Qianqing didn't feel distressed, and his face also recovered a smile. He calmed down and handed the menu to Lin Jiyun. "I don't need it. I'm willing to eat. Yang Ming has ordered it." Lin Jiyun shook her head and refused Su Qianqing's proposal. She returned the menu to the waiter who ordered the dishes. Lin Jiyun no longer wanted to order anything, which saved Su Qianqing a lot of money, but Su Qianqing wasn't happy at all. Yang Ming actually knows what Lin Jiyun likes to eat? What does that mean? It means that this is not the first time that Yang Ming has come out to eat with Lin Jiyun. The two people have at least eaten together many times, so they can understand each other's eating habits. Then, what is the relationship between Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun? Thinking of this, Su Qianqing had some headaches. Is it really like what I think? Yang Ming has a girlfriend, and he still wants to fool around? Su Qianqing's face was very ugly, but Lin Jiyun seemed to like Yang Ming. This was what made Su Qianqing most annoyed. There were many flies around beautiful women, but those who could really fall on the beautiful woman were just a few. However, Yang Ming had become one of them, and he was very close to Lin Jiyun. How could Su Qianqing not worry? Su Qianqing felt that it was necessary for him to remind Lin Jiyun, but it was still a bit abrupt to say it directly. He had to divert it from another topic so that it would not seem deliberate. After a slight hesitation, Su Qianqing had an idea. "Yang Ming, have you thought about what you want to perform in the art festival? You promised me at noon. You know, in order to invite you all to perform on stage, I had to personally pay for this dinner. It's not that easy being the president of the student council, is that easy? Hee, what program haven't you thought about? Isn't there still a few days?" Yang Ming smiled. "I will go back and discuss with Jiyun. If it really doesn't work, we will perform a program together." Perform together? Su Qianqing's face suddenly showed a strange expression. He thought, you still want to perform together with Lin Jiyun? No way, right? Isn't that giving you a chance to be closer to Lin Jiyun? Chapter 1306. This is not a good idea. I must kill it. So, Su Qianqing smiled and said, "You are a martial artist, and Lin Jiyun is a scholar. How can you perform together? It's fine to make a joke, but if you two perform together, the students won't agree. Everyone is waiting to see your martial arts." Yang Ming smiled and didn't comment. He was more and more sure that this Su Qianqing wanted to hit on Lin Jiyun. It was just that this guy had more depth. He knew how to do it step by step and hide himself. Right, Yang Ming, your girlfriend, Chen Mengyan, is also a cadre of the student union. She is the vice president of the student union of the School of Economics and Management. How can she not participate in the art festival? You have to persuade her. Although she is very busy working part-time outside, she also has to participate in the activities organized by the school. If she doesn't participate in the activities, how can she set an example? Su Qianqing seemed to inadvertently think of this matter. However, Su Qianqing was indeed intentional. He deliberately mentioned Chen Mengyan. The purpose was very simple. He wanted to remind Lin Jiyun to let her know that Yang Ming was a person who had a girlfriend. She shouldn't get too close to him. This was also a disguised warning to Yang Ming to let him understand that he knew his relationship with Chen Mengyan. Don't fool around here. Otherwise, he would tell Chen Mengyan and let him bear the consequences. Yang Ming was not stupid. When he heard Su Qianqing mention Chen Mengyan's name, he understood what Su Qianqing was thinking. This guy is reminding me to understand that Chen Mengyan is my girlfriend, but Lin Jiyun is not. Yang Ming pretended not to hear Su Qianqing's implied meaning. He smiled slightly and said, Jiyun and Mengyan are also working in the same company. Jiyun, if you are busy, tell President Su not to participate in the art festival, right? Can I? Lin Jiyun listened to Yang Ming and was a little tempted. Su Qianqing was almost angered by Yang Ming's words. What is this nonsense? Does this kid really not understand, or does he understand but pretends not to understand? With his interference, Lin Jiyun will not participate in the art festival in a while. However, from the dialogue between Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun, Su Qianqing heard something. That was, Lin Jiyun and Chen Mengyan knew each other. Moreover, the two were working part-time in the same company. As a result, the relationship between Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun was a bit confusing. Since Lin Jiyun knows Chen Mengyan, then she definitely knows that Chen Mengyan is Yang Ming's girlfriend. In this way, the current relationship between Lin Jiyun and Yang Ming is just a very good friend relationship, and not what I imagined. Am I thinking too much about him? The waiter pushed the dining cart and walked in, preparing to start serving the dishes. Looking at the exquisite dishes, Su Qianqing felt that the money was really not worth it. He couldn't get any benefits in front of Lin Jiyun. Looking at Lin Jiyun's calm appearance, Su Qianqing understood that the things in front of him did not bring much shock to Lin Jiyun. She might eat it often. His strategy was wrong from the beginning. He shouldn't show off his family background to attract Lin Jiyun. He should attract this girl from other aspects. However, Lin Jiyun's usual dress was very simple. She really didn't look like a young lady of a rich family. Su Qianqing couldn't be blamed for misjudging. In his opinion, many girls nowadays were very materialistic. Although it couldn't be said that this was a shortcoming, in fact, the reality was like this. If you don't have money, you still want to pick up girls. Do you want them to go hungry? Therefore, Su Qianqing would show his solid family background from time to time, but he didn't expect that he was repeatedly frustrated in front of Yang Ming, and he didn't get Lin Jiyun's favor. After the waiter put the dishes on the table, he bowed and left. Su Qianqing glanced at the dishes on the table, then smiled and made an inviting gesture to Lin Jiyun and Yang Ming. Please, Yang Ming, Lin Jiyun. We are not outsiders, so you don't have to be polite. Let's eat quickly. Yang Ming was amused. He thought, I didn't want you to pay the bill. Who will be polite with you? Yang Ming didn't want to take advantage of Su Qianqing. He was different from Jin Gang, and Lin Jiyun was different from Zhao Ying. Zhao Ying was Yang Ming's teacher. They didn't have a special relationship at the beginning, and Jin Gang was also Yang Ming's teacher. Even if he was tricked by Yang Ming, he just had to suffer in silence. He couldn't say anything. Could it be that he wanted to announce that he was tricked by a student? Then, people would definitely ask him why he was tricked by a student, and he would talk about Zhao Ying. Even so, it wouldn't involve Yang Ming. It would only make Jean Gang more embarrassed. But at this moment, it was different. Lin Jian and Yang Ming already had a substantial relationship, and Su Qianqing was also their classmate. Yang Ming didn't want to take advantage of him and give him something to talk about. He wanted Su Qianqing to announce that he and Lin Jian's family took advantage of him. Although Yang Ming wasn't afraid of anything, Lin Jian was a girl. It wasn't good for her to be talked about like this, so Yang Ming wasn't prepared to have anything to do with Su Qianqing. On the other hand, Yang Ming wasn't willing to have too much enmity with people like Su Qianqing. His father was the boss of Songjiang Mining, and he was also a reputable person in Songjiang. Su Qianqing was different from Wang Jitao. After all, he wasn't the kind of person who would do bad things everywhere. He was just pursuing Lin Jian normally. Yang Ming really couldn't do anything to him. He could only let him know when to back off. Yang Ming wasn't polite. He directly picked up a crab for Lin Jian and said, "Jian, you eat more. Look at how thin you are. You're not even as good as Jiejia." Su Qianqing naturally didn't know who Jiejia was, and he wouldn't association with Zhou Jiejia, one of the campus belle lists on the forum. He just felt that Yang Ming and Lin Jian were too flirtatious, and he was a little upset. He thought, "I'm the one who is treating." He naturally didn't want to be outdone. "Yeah, Lin Jian, you eat more. Girls who are too thin don't look good." Yang Ming didn't bother with Su Qianqing. Lin Jian was eating the crab and didn't speak. He said a sentence, but no one responded. Su Qianqing was very embarrassed. Although the dishes were delicious, Su Qianqing wasn't in the mood to eat. He felt that he should move Lin Jian in another way. Simply showing off was too tacky. On the one hand, Lin Jian's family background should be very good. She simply wasn't tempted by these so-called flaunting of wealth. On the other hand, Lin Jian's character may have determined that she was not the kind of person who despised the poor and loved the rich. Therefore, Su Qianqing wanted to change a way to pursue Lin Jian. Didn't they say that girls liked romance? It seems that I should consider more romantic means to move Lin Jian in the future. This meal made Su Qianqing very uncomfortable. He had been watching Yang Ming and Lin Jian eat. He was like a waiter sitting by the side. He didn't eat anything from beginning to end. He was annoyed in his heart. I must quickly find out the relationship between this Yang Ming and Lin Jian. Otherwise, with Yang Ming's interference in the future, I won't be able to pursue Lin Jian successfully. Today, such a short time almost made me lose. If it was longer, it would become Yang Ming's foil. Su Qianqing thought, "I'm the president of the student union, but I can't even compare to an ordinary student. It's ridiculous." In order to catch up with the evening class, Yang Ming deliberately paid attention to the time when he was eating. Lin Jian's appetite was small. After eating for a while, she was full. There were still a lot of things left on the table. Su Qianqing was a little distressed, but it wasn't good to pack it up. That would seem a little stingy. "Yang Ming, there are a lot of things left. Isn't it a waste?" Lin Jian looked at the things on the table. She was not a wasteful person. "It's okay. I will pack it back in a while and eat with Tian Donghua during class." Yang Ming said with a smile, "It's not a waste anyway." Su Qianqing's eyes almost popped out after listening to Yang Ming's words. He regretted it in his heart. "If I knew this, I would have packed it myself." He didn't expect Lin Jian to be so simple and thrifty. Otherwise, he would have ordered the waiter to pack it up. How could he let Yang Ming grab it first? In this way, not only could he go back to the dormitory, but he could also keep a good style of being thrifty and not wasteful in front of Lin Jian. But now that Yang Ming said to pack it back to eat, he couldn't grab it from Yang Ming's hands and say that he would take it back. That would seem a bit too much, and it would make Lin Jian look down on him even more. Yang Ming carried a lot of packed food, so Su Qianqing couldn't say anything. This meal was just too fucked up. He didn't achieve his goal at all. Instead, he wasted tens of thousands of yuan. Under the guidance of the waiter, they came to the lobby on the first floor. Su Qianqing went to the front desk to settle the bill. Private room 2108, how much? After Su Qianqing asked this, he held his breath. Tens of thousands of yuan was a big number for the current Su Qianqing, so Su Qianqing gritted his teeth. The first thing he would do when he went back was to inquire about the relationship between Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun. Sir, private room 2108 is free of charge. The manager has explained it. After the waiter checked the computer, he smiled and said to Su Qianqing. Free of charge? What do you mean? Su Qianqing was a little stunned. Of course, he could understand what free of charge meant, but he couldn't believe his ears. How could a meal that cost tens of thousands of yuan be free of charge? This is a bit too incredible. The waiter smiled slightly. Although he felt that Su Qianqing's question was very interesting, he still explained, Sir, the chairman of the group has instructed that Mr. Yang's expenses are free of charge. You came with Mr. Yang, so the expenses in the private room are free of charge. Shocking. Su Qianqing was only shocked at the moment. His whole person seemed to be struck by lightning, and he stood on the spot in a daze. Yang Ming came here for free of charge? And it was ordered by the chairman of the group? How high was the position of the chairman of the group? How could Su Qianqing not have an idea? Not to mention a lobby manager, even the general manager of an international hotel had to listen to the dispatch of the group above. Yang Ming actually had a relationship with the chairman of the group, so what did it mean? Yang Ming's family background was far beyond his own. Just now, Su Qianqing still felt that his family background was quite badass. Now, compared with Yang Ming, it was nothing. Thinking of the lobby manager's enthusiastic attitude when he spoke to Yang Ming, Su Qianqing was lost for a while. At this moment, he was already at a loss. The gap between him and Yang Ming was too big. He couldn't catch up. Yang Ming saw Su Qianqing's lost look, and naturally knew the reason. Yang Ming saw the conversation between the front desk waiter and Su Qianqing clearly. Yang Ming walked to Su Qianqing's side and patted Su Qianqing's shoulder. Then, he smiled slightly. Chairman Su, Jiyun and I will leave first. We have to go back to class, Su Qianqing just recovered from the shock just now. He looked at Yang Ming beside him inconceivably, and his eyes were full of surprise. Right, Chairman Su, there is one thing that I have to remind you first. Yang Ming whispered in Su Qianqing's ear, it's also a piece of advice to you. You better not have any ideas about Jiyun, or you will definitely regret it. After Yang Ming finished speaking, he didn't care about him. He turned and left the hotel lobby with Lin Jiyun, leaving only Su Qianqing standing there in a daze. He had not yet recovered from the shock. What did you just say to him? After getting in the car, Lin Jiyun asked Yang Ming curiously. I told him not to have any ideas about you. Yang Ming did not hide it and said directly. Then why is he in a daze? Lin Jiyun looked at Yang Ming suspiciously. He feels that the gap between him and me is too big, so naturally, he is in a daze. Yang Ming said with some truth, don't worry about him. Let's go back to school. Now that the commute time had passed, there were not so many cars on the road. When they went back, they could take the one-way road, which was a lot closer. So, when they rushed back to school, it was just 6:00, which was just the beginning of class. The two people were not late. Yang Ming first sent Lin Jiyun to the teaching building of the School of Economics and Management, then he drove back to his own class in the School of Computer Science. Carrying a bunch of delicious food, Yang Ming got out of the car and walked to his classroom. Coincidentally, it was actually teacher Little Wang's class. Yang Ming went in from the back door of the classroom. Teacher Little Wang did not say anything. Instead, he nodded to Yang Ming and continued the lecture. Tian Donghua and Wang Shui sat in the last row of the classroom. There were no students behind them, so it was very spacious. Yang Ming sat next to Tian Donghua and then threw the delicious food in his hand to him. I will treat you to seafood. Damn, So many crabs and lobsters? Tian Donghua's eyes widened. You went to buy these? How did you know that Wang Shui and I didn't eat? I went to eat with Lin Jian. The rest was packed for you. Yang Ming shrugged. You two really didn't eat? Then hurry up and eat. I say, you can't be so kind, but you brought so much for me. I am satisfied. Tian Donghua happily opened the packaging bags and asked Wang Shui to put the food between the two of them. Wang Shui was not as unscrupulous as Tian Donghua. She looked around embarrassedly. We can't let the teacher find out, right? It's okay. What are you afraid of? He can't see. Tian Donghua grabbed a lobster and gnawed. Yang Ming smiled slightly. In fact, the teacher could see clearly from the top, but most of the time, they wouldn't say it. Especially in university, who studied and who didn't study was their own business. What did it have to do with the teacher? University teachers rarely cared about students. These were all based on self-awareness. Especially Tian Donghua, the young master. Now the teachers in his class knew that there was such a prodigal son who came here to fool around and date Wang Shui. Who would care about him? Wang Shui saw Tian Donghua eating with relish and couldn't help but eat with him. Ren Jianren felt that he was very cowardly, very cowardly. Originally, the Taekwondo club had a bright future. Many students now admired foreign languages and liked to learn Taekwondo. Therefore, the Taekwondo Club of Songjiang Industry University had been developing well. However, because of the competition with Yang Ming last semester, the reputation of the Taekwondo Club plummeted. The president of the Taekwondo Club and Li Jiasheng, the vice president, were defeated by Yang Ming. They were utterly defeated by him. Although Ren Jianren didn't think that Yang Ming's kung fu was very high, because Yang Ming was completely unorganized that day. His victory could only mean that he and Li Jiasheng were careless and didn't guard against him. They thought so, but others didn't think so. All the students saw it with their own eyes. Ren Jianren and Li Jiasheng were defeated, which directly led to the decline of the Taekwondo Club's prestige. Many people who originally planned to sign up for the Taekwondo Club retreated. Those who joined the Taekwondo Club also found some reasons to withdraw from the Taekwondo Club. This was what Ren Jianren was very unwilling to see. The Taekwondo Club that he worked hard to manage withered like this. Where would he put his face as the president of the Taekwondo Club? Therefore, Ren Jianren had always wanted to find Yang Ming to wash away his shame. However, if he challenged Yang Ming like this, Yang Ming would definitely not accept it. Moreover, he had lost. If he still went to find Yang Ming to get back his face, it would make others think that he was too shameless. Ren Jianren wanted to get back his face, but he also had to find a suitable time and reason. Otherwise, let's not talk about whether Yang Ming would accept it or not. Even if Yang Ming accepted it, Ren Jianren would be weak. But now, Ren Jianren found a good opportunity. That was the school art festival. He felt that as long as he performed a kung fu competition with Yang Ming at the art festival, if he beat Yang Ming, then the prestige of the Taekwondo Club would be restored. Moreover, this time's school festival was even grander than the previous martial arts competition with Yang Ming. After all, it was only in the school gymnasium. Not all the students in the school went to watch. This time was different. This was the school art festival. All the students would be spectators in the school auditorium. In other words, as long as he succeeded this time, then he could completely turn the situation around. Thinking of this, Ren Jianren's heart began to become active. Chapter 1307. Previously, Ren Jianren felt that he lost to Yang Ming because Yang Ming was acting shamelessly. It was a good match, but you took out a brick to hit me. Did you think that I practiced the iron head technique? The most annoying thing was that Yang Ming was obviously acting shamelessly. I was the victim, but the support under the stage was supporting Yang Ming. Ren Jianren was so angry when he thought about it. He thought, Yang Ming is so cunning. He made a smoke bomb in advance and hung a broken banner on his body. He even said, punch at Nanshan Nursing Home, kick at Beihai Kindergarten, and brick-breaking martial arts. In fact, what he wanted to highlight was the brick-breaking martial arts, but he was confused by the two sentences, punch at Nanshan Nursing Home, kick at Beihai Kindergarten, so he didn't pay attention to the banner. He thought that Yang Ming was just making a gimmick and didn't take it seriously. Therefore, he was at a disadvantage. Yang Ming said a few times that his unique skill was written on the banner behind him, but Ren Jianren didn't take it seriously. He thought that Yang Ming was just playing to the gallery. Until later, even if Yang Ming said that he was going to use his unique skill, Ren Jianren still didn't care, so he was completely at a disadvantage. He was hit on the head by Yang Ming with a brick, and his head was bleeding immediately. He was beaten like this, but the students watching the match under the stage were still on Yang Ming's side. But it was no wonder. Yang Ming did remind him many times before he made a move, but he didn't pay attention. Who could he blame? Even if Ren Jianren wasn't convinced, he had to swallow it. Who asked him to be so unlucky? So this time, Ren Jianren would be extra careful of Yang Ming's conspiracy. He felt that there was no problem in defeating Yang Ming in terms of kung fu. The main thing was that he was afraid that Yang Ming would come up with some dirty tricks again. As long as he took precautions, he could completely defeat Yang Ming. He and Li Jiaxing discussed for a while and decided to send an invitation to Yang Ming before the festival started. It was an invitation on the surface, but in fact, it was a challenge. However, they made the challenge sound more elegant, turning it into two people performing a kung fu show at the festival. Ren Jianren was the president of the school's taekwondo club. Naturally, he had a close relationship with the student union. He also had the phone number of the student union's president, Su Qianqing, so Ren Jianren called Su Qianqing. Su Qianqing walked out of the Songjiang International Hotel dejectedly. He felt that today was his biggest failure. He completely lost his face. He didn't know how to face Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun in the future. He opened the door of his cheetah car with some self-deprecation. He drove a car that cost more than 100,000 yuan to show off to Yang Ming. He felt that it was shameful to think about it. The phone rang, and Su Qianqing sighed. He didn't want to answer, but when he saw that the caller's number was Ren Jianren, the president of the school's taekwondo club, he really couldn't not answer this call. Although the prestige of the taekwondo club had plummeted in the school, and it was not valued, it was still the official club of the school. Su Qianqing, as the president of the student union, couldn't ignore it, so he picked up the phone. Hello, I am Su Qianqing. President Su, I am Ren Jianren of the taekwondo club. Said Ren Jianren enthusiastically. President Ren, hello. What can I do for you at this time? It was already late at night, and Su Qianqing was not in the mood to chat with Ren Jianren. He planned to be quiet and calm down his emotions. Today was too shameful. He had to think about how to pursue Lin Jiyun in the future. The current method was definitely not going to work. Therefore, he didn't want to talk nonsense with Ren Jianren. He was going to say a few perfunctory words to end the call. Then, he would find another reason to hang up the phone. If there was any work matter, he would let him talk about it tomorrow. Anyway, Su Qianqing was not in the mood at all. He was very unhappy. President Su, are you free? I will treat you to a meal. Ren Jianren said with a smile. There is no need for a meal. I just finished eating. If you have something to say, just say it. Su Qianqing was not in the mood to eat with Ren Jianren. It's about the art festival. Ren Jianren heard something wrong with Su Qianqing's voice, but he didn't think much about it. Our taekwondo club is going to participate in the art festival and perform a kung fu show. Oh, that's a good thing. Go back and write a proposal. I will just look at it. Su Qianqing listened to Ren Jianren's words and said casually, this is not a big deal. Every club will have a show. Then, let's leave it at that. I still have something to do here. After that, Su Qianqing planned to hang up the phone. Ren Jianren was anxious when he heard it. He quickly said, "Wait a minute, President Su. I still have other things to say." "What is it?" Su Qianqing had no choice but to ask patiently. He was the student union president. Naturally, he couldn't just hang up the phone calls of the various club presidents. That would be a bit outrageous. Even if the Taekwondo club's reputation was not good recently, it was still one of the important clubs under the student union. He couldn't neglect Ren Jianren too much. If Ren Jianren gossiped outside, it would be disadvantageous to him. This is the case. Our Taekwondo club wants to invite the school's Kung Fu rising star to perform a show with us. Ren Jianren quickly talked about the focus of his topic. Kung Fu rising star? Who is the school's Kung Fu rising star? Su Qianqing was stunned and somewhat inexplicable. As the school's student union president, he had never heard of any Kung Fu rising star in the school. "It's that freshman Yang Ming." Ren Jianren was a little embarrassed. He had to elevate Yang Ming's identity to attract Su Qianqing's attention. Otherwise, he was afraid that Su Qianqing would reject him. He was just a freshman student. Was there a need to be so brooding? Therefore, in order to be afraid that Su Qianqing would not agree, Ren Jianren packaged Yang Ming's identity as a campus Kung Fu rising star. In this way, he was not afraid that Su Qianqing would not agree. During this time, Ren Jianren and Li Jiaxing discussed how to deal with Yang Ming. They did not have the time to look at the BBS of the campus forum. Naturally, they did not know about the calls for Yang Ming. If he knew that Su Qianqing had the intention to let Yang Ming go on stage, why would he say so much nonsense? Su Qianqing originally wanted to end the conversation with Ren Jianren as soon as possible, but he did not expect that when Ren Jianren talked about Yang Ming, Su Qianqing suddenly became energetic. He originally had no intention of inviting Yang Ming. He just wanted to invite him to perform Kung Fu at the school's art festival to comply with the wishes of most students. He could also show his ability and democracy as the student union president. But now, Su Qianqing changed his mind when he heard Ren Jianren's words. He was not stupid. He could naturally hear that Ren Jianren wanted to seek revenge on Yang Ming. Ren Jianren lost so badly last semester. He was directly knocked to the ground by Yang Ming with a brick. It was a great shame. Therefore, Ren Jianren looking for Yang Ming to perform with him was simply a lie. He just wanted to use the opportunity of this art festival to get back his previous face in front of the whole school. How could this Su Qianqing not understand? However, if it was before the meal, Su Qianqing would never agree. No matter how good Yang Ming's Kung Fu was, he was just a gimmick in the eyes of most students. The students were willing to watch him, but it was nothing more than watching his weird appearances and the laughter brought by his messy tricks. None of them really knew Kung Fu, so Yang Ming's appearance was a complete artistic act. It had nothing to do with Kung Fu. However, when Ren Jianren came, it was different. Ren Jianren was purely seeking revenge. How could Su Qianqing let him destroy the art festival's program? But now it was different. Su Qianqing could be said to be extremely angry with Yang Ming. "I am pursuing Lin Jian. What does it have to do with you? You should just go home and hug your beautiful Chen Mengyan. Why did you come here to meddle?" Listening to Ren Jianren's words, he seemed to have the confidence to win. Su Qianqing hesitated a little and decided to teach Yang Ming a lesson. Who asked him to mess with him? Moreover, this lesson did not require him to do it himself. It was completely carried out by borrowing the hands of others. Why not? What program do you want to perform with him? I remember that you had a competition with him last semester, right? What kind of person was Su Qianqing? He could become the president of the student union, so his IQ was not low. He couldn't let Ren Jianren see through his intention. Otherwise, people like Ren Jianren would definitely ask for more. Su Qianqing meant that he was silently standing behind and watching this show, so his tone was very calm. There was no difference or inappropriateness. Oh, of course, the competition between the masters. Ren Jianren knew that Su Qianqing also heard something. President Su, is this program feasible? Let me think about it. Su Qianqing did not immediately answer Ren Jianren. He wanted to be the mastermind behind the scenes, and he didn't want people to know. President Su, I think you should have heard my thoughts. Ren Jianren sighed and said. What did I hear? I didn't hear anything. What do you think? Su Qianqing naturally wouldn't admit it. He was very careful and didn't want to have anything to do with this matter. Otherwise, when it reached Lin Jian's ears, he didn't have to think about pursuing Lin Jian. He would simply give up automatically. Ren Jianren smiled. He thought that Su Qianqing, as the president of the student union, could not express his opinion publicly, so he said, President Su, you also know that in the competition last semester, Yang Ming used a very wretched move to defeat me. After that, the Taekwondo club was unable to recover. Now, no one is willing to come to the Taekwondo club. Of course, the Taekwondo club is the official club of the school. Our student union will definitely support it. As long as you can restore the reputation of the Taekwondo club, I will not interfere with other things. Su Qianqing, of course, still had to express his opinion. Otherwise, Ren Jianren would not be assured to do it boldly. Now that he said so, it meant that he supported Ren Jianren. However, Su Qianqing's way of speaking was more subtle and dignified. It would not let people have any evidence. The president of the student union supported the development of the school's club. What evidence could they have? It could only be said that the student union strongly supported the club. As for how Ren Jianren understood it, it was his business. When there was a problem, Su Qianqing could completely push it away. It had nothing to do with him. Since President Su said so, I have a plan in my heart. Ren Jianren listened to Su Qianqing's words and immediately became happy. As long as President Su supports it, then I will definitely restore the prestige of the Taekwondo club. How do you want to do this program? You have to communicate with Yang Ming first. As long as he agrees to perform with you, there will definitely be no problem with the review of my program, said Su Qianqing. Okay, I will definitely persuade Yang Ming to perform with me, said Ren Jianren. Right, Yang Ming has promised me to participate in the art festival. Have you seen the post on the school forum BBS? Asked Su Qianqing. Oh. What post? Ren Jianren was stunned. During this time, his brain was thinking about how to find Yang Ming for revenge. He had no time to pay attention to the post on the school forum BBS. Yang Ming is very popular among the students. Everyone wants him to perform again at this art festival. Su Qianqing briefly told Ren Jianren about the post. Ren Jianren's heart immediately moved. He secretly thought, God is really helping me. The louder Yang Ming's voice, the greater the shock of defeating Yang Ming. Then, the reputation of the Taekwondo club could be heard throughout the campus. On the contrary, if everyone had forgotten who Yang Ming was, it would make no sense for him to challenge Yang Ming again. Thinking of this, Ren Jianren was even happier. President Su, then do you have Yang Ming's contact information? It just so happens that I don't have to look for it. Just give it to me, and I will contact Yang Ming directly. You wait a minute. I will check for you. Su Qianqing also kept looking for Yang Ming these days, so he was very familiar with Yang Ming's class schedule. He had a copy of Yang Ming's class schedule downloaded from the campus network in his mobile phone. He found today's class and class location, so he said, Yang Ming has a basic computer theory class at 6:00 tonight. The class location is in the computer science teaching building, classroom 1307. You can wait for him there. Thank you, President Su. Ren Jianren said gratefully, I will go and find him now. Ren Jianren was very happy. He hung up the phone and rushed to the computer science teaching building excitedly. He came to the door of classroom 1307. He got the support of the student union, and he had more confidence. This time, he would wash away his shame and trample Yang Ming under his feet to let him know who was the most powerful. Ren Jianren knocked on the door of classroom 1307. Teacher Little Wang heard someone knocking on the door, so he said, "Please come in." Ren Jianren pushed open the door of the classroom and said very politely, "Teacher, hello. I am Ren Jianren, the president of the school's Taekwondo club. I am looking for Yang Ming in your class." "Oh. What's the matter?" Teacher Little Wang glanced at Ren Jianren and asked. Since he was the president of the Taekwondo club, Teacher Little Wang was still very polite to him. "I am looking for him to discuss the performance at the art festival." Ren Jianren said this in front of so many people in Yang Ming's entire class. He also wanted to make it clear that Yang Ming would not agree in a while. When he said this, it was like he had already discussed with Yang Ming. He came this time just to discuss with Yang Ming how to perform together. "Oh. Well, Yang Ming, you come out. The president of the Taekwondo club is looking for you." Teacher Little Wang didn't think much and shouted to Yang Ming. Yang Ming snorted. What trick is this guy, Ren Jianren, playing? But thinking about it, he must be unconvinced that he was beaten up by me last semester, so he took advantage of the art festival to seek revenge. Yang Ming was now not the ignorant boy in the past. After a little hesitation, he figured out what Ren Jianren was doing. He wanted to use the art festival as an excuse to avenge the hatred of last semester in front of the whole school and revitalize the reputation of the Taekwondo club. Yang Ming still heard a little about what the Taekwondo club had fallen to. He heard that it was difficult to even recruit people now. Those who joined before had to leave the club, which made Ren Jianren and Li Jiaxing very embarrassed. It was reasonable for Ren Jianren to want to get back his face. Yang Ming scoffed at Ren Jianren's words of discussing the performance on the same stage at the art festival. Yang Ming was clear about Ren Jianren's little thoughts. However, Yang Ming didn't expose it. He pretended that nothing had happened and swaggered out of the classroom. Yang Ming was still worried about what to perform at the art festival. Now, there was someone who took the initiative to trample on him. Yang Ming welcomed him. How could he drive him away? Outside the classroom, Yang Ming closed the door of the classroom. He glanced at Ren Jianren and said casually, "Isn't this President Ren of the Taekwondo club? I don't know why you are looking for an elementary school student like me." Ren Jianren's anger rose. He scolded in his heart. "Why the fuck am I looking for you? Don't you know?" However, he knew that he couldn't be angry now. If he beat up Yang Ming in front of the classroom, not only would it not solve the problem, but he would also lose his position as the president of the Taekwondo club. The school would definitely investigate seriously. So, Ren Jianren took a breath and endured it. He thought, when the time comes, I will beat you to death. So, he resisted his anger and smiled. "Student Yang Ming, didn't I just say it? I want to discuss the art festival together with you. Perform together? Can't you act by yourself? Why do you have to perform with me?" Yang Ming narrowed his eyes and looked at Ren Jianren. "You are the rising star of the school. I am the veteran president of the Taekwondo club. Isn't it good for us to perform together?" Ren Jianren said halfway. He looked at Yang Ming's lukewarm eyes and couldn't continue. He was purely talking nonsense. Would Yang Ming believe him? It couldn't be helped. Ren Jianren simply said, "Isn't this the case? Last semester, we had a friendly match and caused a sensation. The student union's president, Su Qianqing, wanted us to perform a show together. It can also be very popular." Ren Jianren was a little guilty, so he brought out Su Qianqing's name. Chapter 1308. Ren Jianren didn't know about the conflict between Su Qianqing and Yang Ming, and he didn't know that they had just eaten dinner together tonight. Therefore, Ren Jianren felt that using Su Qianqing's name seemed more righteous. Su Qianqing. Yang Ming looked at Ren Jianren with interest. This Su Qianqing's reaction is fast. I embarrassed him, and he sent this Ren Jianren to find trouble? It's quite fast. This student union president seems to be quite useful. However, he sent such a waste. Can he teach me a lesson? Yang Ming was a little amused. He was worried that there would be no performance during the art festival, and this guy came to him. It seems that this guy is the same as Su Qianqing. He thinks that I really don't know any kung fu, and I won by luck with the brick. However, since they thought so, Yang Ming was naturally too lazy to explain. This guy was willing to be cannon fodder and a foil again, so Yang Ming would certainly do what he wanted. Yeah, President Su Qianqing of the Student Union. Ren Jianren nodded. He thought that Yang Ming respected Su Qianqing very much, so he said proudly. He asked you to come to me? Yang Ming glanced at Ren Jianren and asked. Yeah, otherwise, how could I find your class? Ren Jianren didn't know about the matter between Yang Ming and Su Qianqing. He agreed to perform with him because Yang Ming agreed to perform with him, so he used Su Qianqing's name. Hee, then how do you want to perform on the same stage? Are you going to play the brick-breaking martial arts again? Yang Ming said with a smile, although this thing is funny and attractive, it is a bit boring to perform the same program twice. Ren Jianren was choked by Yang Ming's words, and his face turned red, but he couldn't be furious. He was afraid that if he was angry, Yang Ming would turn around and ignore him. He could only swallow his anger. That's impossible. Let's perform something else this time. Perform what? You want to perform Taekwondo, but I can't. Yang Ming shrugged. If you want to perform something else, I can consider it. That's right. I came to you this time to discuss with you what kind of performance we are going to perform. Ren Jianren said. Oh, then what benefits can I get? Yang Ming looked at Ren Jianren and asked directly. Ren Jianren was stunned. He didn't expect Yang Ming to be so realistic and directly ask for benefits from him. He couldn't help but be a little speechless. However, after thinking about Yang Ming's strange behavior last semester, Ren Jianren felt that a student like Yang Ming could do anything. It was not surprising, so he said, What benefits are you talking about? Why don't you treat me to a meal? Yang Ming didn't lack Ren Jianren's benefits. He just wanted to mess with him. Let's eat. No problem. Ren Jianren agreed readily. He thought to himself, isn't it just a meal? At that time, the Taekwondo club's face will be recovered. No matter how many meals it is, it will be worth it. Yang Ming was just joking with him casually. Yang Ming wanted to mess with him, but he couldn't be too active. If he was too active, this guy would definitely be suspicious. Yang Ming had played with him once. He would definitely be wary of Yang Ming, so Yang Ming had to let him relax his vigilance. That's fine. Let's go now, asked Yang Ming. Okay, let's go to the Ju Yuan Chun next to the school, said Ren Jianren. Yang Ming originally finished his meal, but since Ren Jianren was treating, it didn't matter if Yang Ming ate another meal. Anyway, Yang Ming's idea was to let this guy be cannon fodder again this time, but he couldn't let him see it. Otherwise, he would definitely not do it. The two walked out of the school side by side and came to the Ju Yuan Chun restaurant near the school. This was the best restaurant near the school. Many students treated their guests here. Sun Jiwei had also treated his guests here. The two asked for a small private room and went in like good brothers. The waiter brought the menu. Ren Jianren might be afraid that Yang Ming would ask for an exorbitant price, so he picked up the menu first. Yang Ming smiled secretly. This Ren Jianren is not stupid. He is much smarter than Su Qianqing. He knows that I have the initiative to order the dishes. If this menu fell into my hands, would definitely order a few expensive dishes to disgust him. Shredded pork with garlic sauce, double fried pork, home-style cold dish, sauerkraut fried shredded pork. Ren Jianren ordered 4 dishes in one breath, which were the most popular dishes. This meal didn't cost 100 yuan. Okay. The waiter was not surprised. In this kind of restaurant near the school, the best-selling dishes were nothing more than these home-style dishes. What staple food do you want? Do you want wine? Drink or eat? After Ren Jianren ordered the dishes, he asked Yang Ming. Let's eat some rice. We won't drink wine. Don't we still have to talk? Yang Ming just accompanied Lin Jian to eat some seafood, but he didn't eat the staple food. Now, he was a little hungry. Then give us 2 big bowls of rice. Ren Jianren told the waiter, give us 2 bottles of Coke. Wait a moment. The waiter nodded and left the private room. Yang Ming, in this program, we can't do the brick-breaking martial arts again. Ren Jianren was ready to block Yang Ming's escape route first. You're just playing to the gallery. If we want to perform, we have to perform real kung fu. Don't do those fake things. Okay. Yang Ming didn't care. He thought, are you good at real kung fu? Seeing that Yang Ming agreed so readily, Ren Jianren had some doubts. Are we sure we're going to compete in real kung fu? Didn't you say so? Yang Ming asked, why? Then let's compete in something else? No, let's compete in real kung fu. Ren Jianren was shocked. He heard that Yang Ming seemed to want to go back on his words. He quickly waved his hand and said, let's compete in real kung fu. We can compete in real kung fu, but there is a condition. Yang Ming said. What condition? Ren Jianren thought, Yang Ming can't be so straightforward, so he asked calmly. It's very simple. We can compete in real kung fu, but we definitely can't compete in taekwondo because I don't know it. Yang Ming said, I didn't know it before, and I don't know it now. When Ren Jianren heard Yang Ming's condition, he suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. He thought, as long as we compete in real kung fu, it's fine even if we don't compete in taekwondo. It's fine. I know you don't know taekwondo. It's fine even if we don't compete in taekwondo. As long as it's real kung fu, it's fine. Real kung fu? Then I'll have to think about it. Yang Ming pretended to ponder. And, then you think about it carefully. Ren Jianren didn't disturb Yang Ming and let him think about it himself. He didn't want Yang Ming to say that he was disturbing him. I'm best at kickboxing, using bricks to smash people. I really can't think of what we're competing in. Yang Ming said while shaking his head. What? Ren Jianren's face immediately turned green after listening to Yang Ming's words. This Yang Ming is beating around the bush. Why does he still want to compete in kickboxing? Ren Jianren was traumatized by Yang Ming's brick last time. He didn't dare to compete in kickboxing with Yang Ming casually. It wouldn't be fun if he got hit again. So, he said, Yang Ming, we can change the competition. We don't want to compete in kickboxing. Our art festival is mainly a performance program, and the competition is secondary. We can't just go and fight randomly, right? Oh, art? Yang Ming pretended to be disappointed and nodded. Then, he said, how about this? Let's compete in throwing knives. Throwing knives? What do you mean? Ren Jianren didn't understand what Yang Ming meant. Isn't throwing knives simple? That is, each of us will find a partner. Then, the 2 of us, each of us will put an apple on top of our head and let the partner throw a knife. Whoever's partner throws the knife and hits the most apples will win. What do you think? Yang Ming said, isn't this easy? And it's also artistic. What kind of competition is this? Ren Jianren had a weird expression. Why not? It's a competition of your reaction ability. If your partner's throwing knives deviate, you can quickly use your head to meet it. Oh, no, it's the apple on the head. Yang Ming said, this can also test our courage. It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Isn't this good? This. Ren Jianren didn't know what to say. Yang Ming's suggestion was a bit weird. He had never heard of such a competition, but what Yang Ming said seemed to make sense. However, he practiced taekwondo. How could he play with throwing knives? Why? Do you think it's inappropriate? Yang Ming frowned. You want to perform with me on the same stage. I made a suggestion and you still think it's inappropriate. Then, I think it's better to do kickboxing. Don't. Then, let's do this. Ren Jianren didn't dare to simply kickboxing with Yang Ming. This kid's so-called kickboxing was just fighting randomly. He even threw a brick at his face. This time, he might even take a shovel to the stage. Ren Jianren knew that Yang Ming could do anything. Okay, then it's settled. Let's see if your Taekwondo Kung Fu is better or if my kickboxing is better. Yang Ming looked at Ren Jianren and smiled harmlessly. This smile made Ren Jianren a little scared. Why do I feel that Yang Ming's smile is a little weird? However, Ren Jianren thought that this knife-throwing competition was a one-on-one competition. It couldn't be mixed with each other at all. Yang Ming couldn't play any tricks, so this was the safest way. Ren Jianren didn't believe that Yang Ming was good at knife-throwing. Ren Jianren thought about it. Li Jiaxing had experience in playing darts before. It was said that he played it very well. When the time came to find him as a partner, it shouldn't be a problem to win against Yang Ming. As for whether this was real kung fu, it didn't matter. The students under the stage were all watching the fun. Who could see the knack? It was enough to know that the Taekwondo club had won. It was enough to let the Taekwondo club regain its prestige. Okay, it's a deal. Ren Jianren felt that it was foolproof, so he nodded and agreed. Yang Ming wiped out most of the food on the table and then said to Ren Jianren, "Thank you for your hospitality. You make the specific arrangements. If I make the arrangements, it may be disadvantageous to you. I believe you will be fair." "That's fine, then I will make the arrangements. Don't worry. I will definitely make the arrangements fairly." Ren Jianren was a little surprised. Yang Ming could hand over the rights to make the specific rules to himself. He was really afraid that Yang Ming would make some rules that were not favorable to him. Yang Ming turned and left the restaurant, leaving Ren Jianren there to pay the bill. Although Ren Jianren regretted that he couldn't beat Yang Ming on stage, the current result was the best. If it was a real fight, Ren Jianren was not afraid. He was confident that he could beat Yang Ming, but Yang Ming always played some tricks. He was afraid that Yang Ming would do something strange this time. Therefore, it was better to choose this reliable knife throwing. When the time came, he would let Li Jiaxing practice well. There should be no problem. As a matter of fact, Taekwondo was also training the body's coordination, so knife throwing was not difficult. Not to mention that Li Jiaxing had the foundation in this area. After Yang Ming finished eating, he looked at the time. It was almost 8:00, which meant that the class would end in less than 10 minutes. Yang Ming did not need to go back to continue the class. Yang Ming parked the car next to the teaching building of the School of Economics and Management, waiting for Lin Jiyun to end the class. Then, he would pick her up and go home together. Chen Mengyan had already gone back. Zhou Jiejia stayed with Xiao Qing at night, and Wang Xiaoyan left with Xiao Ying, so Yang Ming only needed to wait for Lin Jiyun alone. Downstairs in the School of Economics and Management, Yang Ming did not see Su Qianqing's cheetah jeep. Su Qianqing did not come back to class. Yang Ming did not know how he and Ren Jianren met. After a while, the teaching building of the School of Economics and Management was flooded with people. The students had finished class. A weak white figure came into Yang Ming's eyes. Yang Ming pushed open the door, got out of the car, and waved to the figure. "Jiyun, here." When Lin Jiyun saw Yang Ming, she quickened her pace and ran over in a few steps. Yang Ming opened the door of the front passenger seat and let her get in the car. Then, he also got in the car and started the car. "Your class ends so early?" Lin Jiyun looked at Yang Ming and asked, baffled. It was reasonable to say that Yang Ming and her class should end at the same time, which was 8:00 in the evening. Yang Ming would need some time to drive over after class. Now, as soon as she came out, she saw Yang Ming standing here, which meant that Yang Ming had been waiting for her here for a long time. "No, I was called out by Ren Jianren halfway through the class," said Yang Ming. "Ren Jianren?" Which one? Lin Jiyun was slightly stunned, and then she remembered who Ren Jianren was. Oh, I remember. Is he the president of the Taekwondo club who competed with you last semester? Yes, it's him. Yang Ming nodded and smiled. I didn't expect you to remember this person. And I have some impression of him. He also promoted his Taekwondo club, but my classmates felt that he couldn't even beat a freshman. This Taekwondo club was just a so-so. Lin Jiyun also smiled. You are famous in our class. Then, are they envious of you? Yang Ming asked with a smile after listening. Envious of me? Lin Jiyun's face was red, and she was a little embarrassed. Of course, they are envious of you. They are envious that you found such a powerful boyfriend. Yang Ming said, don't girls like boys with a strong sense of security? They don't know that you are my boyfriend. How can I talk nonsense? Everyone knows that Sister Meng Yan is your boyfriend. If I get involved, I will be gossiped about. Lin Jiyun shook her head. You have been wronged. Yang Ming listened to Yang Ming's words, and he was a little ashamed. He reached out and held Lin Jiyun's delicate hand, but there was no way. This was the school. There were many people talking. Yang Ming couldn't disclose his relationship with other girls. Otherwise, there would definitely be a lot of jealous people. When some unpleasant words were said, it would hurt Chen Mengyan and the others. I don't care, but Chen Mengyan, Lin Jiyun, and Zhou Jiejia are all girls. How can I be so shameless? Even if Yang Ming didn't think for himself, he had to think for them. Although Yang Ming could violently shut some people up, once the news spread, it wasn't something that Yang Ming could control. Therefore, although Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun were very close at school, Lin Jiyun had never mentioned to anyone that she was Yang Ming's girlfriend. Those who knew about this were only Gu Xinyao, Jing Xiaolu, and a few others. What is there to feel wronged about? Lin Jiyun smiled. I think this is good. As long as I can be with you, why should I tell others? I don't care whether they know or not. Yang Ming looked at Lin Jiyun. Her expression was firm. She didn't seem to be joking. He knew that Lin Jiyun was telling the truth. She was such a girl. She was soft but firm. Once she decided on something, she would always do it. She would never change. Jiyun, I am relieved as long as you are happy. Yang Ming nodded. Right, that Ren Jianren was looking for you. What did he want? Lin Jiyun felt that this topic wasn't good and didn't want to talk about it. She remembered that Yang Ming said that Ren Jianren was looking for him, so she changed the topic. He was looking for me to discuss the matter of performing on the same stage at the art festival. Yang Ming said, I guess he wanted to get back his face from last semester, and this matter was most likely arranged by Su Qianqing, so he came to me. Then, did you refuse? Lin Jiyun previously felt that Ren Jianren looking for Yang Ming shouldn't be a good thing. When she heard it, it was true. She had some resentment towards Su Qianqing. Why is Su Qianqing like this? He failed to pursue you, and I disrupted it. Naturally, he was annoyed. It just so happened that Ren Jianren wanted to get back his face. It was estimated that the two hit it off, so they came up with such a way to perform on the same stage. Yang Ming said, however, why did I refuse? Why did I refuse him? I agreed directly. You agreed? Lin Jiyun was shocked. What did you agree to do? It just so happens that I don't know what to perform. With him joining, we can perform on the same stage. Yang Ming smiled and said, didn't you want to perform with me? This is just right. Ah. Me too. Didn't he look for you to fight? Lin Jiyun was surprised. Chapter 1309. Fight? He didn't dare to. He was afraid that I would suddenly hit him with the brick again. Then, he would be completely embarrassed. Yang Ming snorted disdainfully. He wanted a serious competition, so I gave him a plan. What plan? What does that have to do with me? Lin Jiyun asked curiously. The plan I gave him was that each of us would find a partner. Then, each of us would have an apple on our head. Let the partner shoot the apple with a knife. In the same time, whoever shoots the most apples would win. Yang Ming said, and I want you to be my partner. I'm holding the apple. You shoot me? Lin Jiyun asked after listening to Yang Ming's words. It's not me shooting you. It's you shooting me. Yang Ming corrected her. But after saying that, Yang Ming felt that it was a bit ambiguous. Shooting around seemed to be talking about something else. Sure enough, Lin Jiyun also heard some clues. Her face was slightly red, and she was a little embarrassed. You mean, I'm holding the apple? No, I'm holding it. You shoot. Ugh, you throw the knife at me. Yang Ming explained. Ah. Lin Jiyun widened her eyes after listening. She looked at Yang Ming incredulously. She couldn't believe her ears. How can I do that? How can I throw a knife? What if I stab you? Just practice a little. A beautiful woman throwing a knife is attractive. Yang Ming smiled. Besides, even if you don't know how to throw it, can't I avoid it? Let's go home and practice a few times. Then, we can go on stage. No problem. I have faith in you. Listening to Yang Ming's words, Lin Jiyun was a little dumbfounded. How can I throw a knife? But since Yang Ming insisted, Lin Jiyun didn't say anything. She believed in Yang Ming as always. Lin Jiyun knew that if Yang Ming said this, he must have full confidence. Therefore, even if Lin Jiyun felt that it was unreliable and somewhat shocking, she still chose to believe in Yang Ming. From the initial independence, Lin Jiyun had begun to rely on Yang Ming. It was the kind of unconditional dependence and trust, so Lin Jiyun said, okay, but I think it's better to use other things to practice first. Otherwise, how can I guarantee that I won't stab you in the beginning? It doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want. You can replace it with something else when you go back. Yang Ming nodded. He knew that Lin Jiyun was still a little worried. After all, she was worried about her own accuracy. Okay then. Although Lin Jiyun felt that this knife-throwing performance was a bit difficult, since Yang Ming said so, she would just do it. Anyway, she didn't know what to perform, so it was better to listen to Yang Ming. Yang Ming started the car and drove in the direction of the Huashang district. Lin Jiyun turned on the radio in the car, and it just happened to broadcast a news about Shuya's new song. Sister Shuya released a new song again. Lin Jiyun naturally learned about Suya from Chen Mengyan. Lin Jiyun was also a little excited and happy to have a big celebrity sister. However, in addition to the excitement and happiness, Lin Jiyun was a little bit lost. Every woman around Yang Ming was outstanding, they weren't just decorative vases. Chen Mengyan and Zhao Sisi worked together to make the jewelry company flourish. Recently, they had invested in several stocks with Wang Mei, and they also made a lot of money. Although Zhou Jiejia didn't have a talent in business, she had outstanding advantages and talents in computer science. She was only a freshman, but she participated in a research group that only graduate students and doctoral students could participate in. This glory could only make Lin Jiyun secretly envious. Suya, on the other hand, had now become a big star admired by thousands of people, the queen of Asian popularity. This made Lin Jiyun, who felt that she had no advantages, feel even more lost. She felt that she had no other advantages except for being beautiful. Although Chen Mengyan, Zhou Jiejia, and Yang Ming didn't say anything, Lin Jiyun was a little uncomfortable in her heart. She also wanted to become a valuable person. She didn't want to be a vase that was admired at home. She wanted to help Yang Ming's career. She had worked hard to learn business, but because she had too little contact with this kind of thing before university, she wasn't very good at dealing with people, so naturally, she didn't learn as fast as Chen Mengyan. Although Lin Jiyun wasn't stupid, it could be said that she was almost as smart as Chen Mengyan. Both of them were admitted to Songjiang Industry University with excellent results, but the family environment of the two was very different. Chen Mengyan's mother was a middle-level leader in a state-owned enterprise, and her father was a cadre in the police station. She had seen and heard since she was young, and she was in contact with some people from the upper class. Especially when she was young, she often went to her mother's unit and stayed there for a day. She also learned a lot of business things. Moreover, Chen Mengyan served as the class monitor, study commissary, and other positions in the class since she was a child. She also cultivated a generous character. Now, whether it was in contact with customers or managing the company, she was a first-class expert. However, Lin Jiyun was different. Her parents were workers. She also devoted herself to learning. She didn't pay attention to the outside world. Although she was good at learning, she wasn't good at interacting with people, so naturally, she was worse than Chen Mengyan. Although she had worked hard to learn, there was always Chen Mengyan as an example, which made Lin Jiyun feel that she was useless. These were all Lin Jiyun's worries. She had never talked to others. Chen Mengyan didn't know, and Zhou Jiejie didn't know, but Yang Ming knew a little. However, when the company was on fire last time, Yang Ming had already comforted her, but he didn't expect Lin Jiyun's worries to be so heavy. "Oh? You released a new song again?" Yang Ming had just returned from Africa, and he had been busy with various affairs in the past 2 days. He didn't have time to go online and check the new news about Shuya. I will turn up the volume." Lin Jiyun put the sadness in her heart aside, and her face restored the usual smile. "I can't tell others about my thoughts, and others can't help me. Only by working hard can I catch up with Sister Mengyan and be a girl who can help Yang Ming. I won't be so useless." Lin Jiyun turned up the volume of the car, and the elegant voice of the host came from the radio. In the new album that Asia's most popular and talented woman, Shuya, brought to us this time, there is still a new song that she wrote herself. It is called "Find the Lost Love." It is also a very melodious and pleasant song. It has Shuya's own unique campus style. I believe this song will refresh the top of the mobile wireless music sales chart. It seems to be talking about you. Lin Jiyun looked at Yang Ming mischievously, pointed to the radio, and chuckled. "Why is it me?" Yang Ming was embarrassed. It wasn't a secret that Suya used their relationship to write songs. At least, Chen Mengyan and the others knew about it. However, Yang Ming was still a little embarrassed when Lin Jiyun said it out loud. "Won't you know if you listen to it?" Lin Jiyun smiled. The Huashang district was very close. Besides the school, it was just a turn away. Yang Ming parked the car at the door of his villa and listened to the radio with Lin Jiyun. He planned to wait for the song to end before getting off the car. The clear voice didn't have the faint sadness from before. It was full of joy for the future. Shuya's style of music had changed slightly. Yang Ming believed that Shuya's fans would also hear it, but they wouldn't know where Shuya's change came from. The previous songs that Shuya wrote herself had a bit of a faint sad atmosphere. Yang Ming believed that it had a direct relationship with her mood. Since Yang Ming met her, Shuya's temperament had changed and became more energetic. It seems that Sister Suya is very happy. Lin Jiyun also heard the difference. "Yeah, as long as she's happy." Yang Ming nodded. "After you go back, help me download it from my mobile phone and set it as a ringtone." "Okay." Lin Jiyun thought that this song was very good. She was just preparing to go back and download it. Yang Ming suggested it, and she naturally agreed. For Suya, Lin Jiyun didn't feel jealous at all. She wasn't a jealous person. After listening to the song, Yang Ming and Lin Jiyun got off the car and opened the door of the villa. Chen Mengyan was watching TV in the living room. When she saw the two of them come back, she asked, "Have you eaten?" "We ate before class." "Why?" "You haven't eaten yet?" Yang Ming called Chen Mengyan when he was eating before, so she didn't have to wait for him. I ate a pack of instant noodles, but I'm a little hungry. Chen Mengyan stood up from the sofa and stretched. I want to eat some fruit. Sister Lin, do you want to eat? I don't want to eat. I'm just full. Lin Jiyun ate a lot of seafood, so she was a little embarrassed. Chen Mengyan only ate a pack of instant noodles, but she and Yang Ming went out to eat a big meal. Do you want me to get some for you? No need. I'm going to sleep. If I eat too much, I will get fat. Chen Mengyan waved her hand. Sister Lin, come with me to eat some fruit. I want to cut a melon, but I can't eat it myself. Then let's ask Yang Ming to eat it. I really can't eat anymore. Lin Jiyun was a little embarrassed. She was really full. Let's go. Let's go together. Yang Ming took off his coat, pushed Lin Jiyun's shoulder, and followed Chen Mengyan to the kitchen with her. Hey. There are apples here. I was thinking about buying some tomorrow. Lin Jiyun found that there were apples in the kitchen. Ho Jinhan just sent a bunch of fruits. Chen Mengyan nodded and said. Ho Jinhan would send some fresh vegetables and fruits every few days without Yang Ming's instructions. Yang Ming agreed with Ho Jinhan's approach. He could always think of some details that he couldn't pay attention to. I see. Lin Jiyun and Ho Jinhan, from the initial hostile relationship, had now become good friends. It was a little funny to think about the things that happened in the beginning. Ho Jinhan had no money, but he kidnapped Lin Jiyun, who was almost as poor as him. What was the point of robbing? Right, Sister Lin, do you want to eat apples? Do you want to wash a few together? Chen Mengyan picked up a honeydew and then prepared to get an apple. No, Yang Ming and I want to practice knife throwing. Lin Jiyun was a little embarrassed. Apparently, she remembered the previous knife throwing. Practice knife throwing? What do you mean? Chen Mengyan looked at Lin Jiyun inexplicably, then looked at Yang Ming and asked curiously. Practice knife throwing. Yang Ming smiled bitterly and told Chen Mengyan about the art festival performance. Then, he told her about Ren Jianren looking for him to perform on the same stage. It turns out to be like this. Chen Mengyan listened to Yang Ming's explanation and understood why Lin Jiyun wanted to find apples. It turned out that it was to practice knife throwing. Yeah, I think it's quite scary. I don't know how to throw a knife. What if I hurt Yang Ming? Lin Jiyun said immediately. After listening to Lin Jiyun's words, Chen Mengyan also nodded and said without worry, yeah, Yang Ming. You have to be careful. Sister Lin's worry isn't unreasonable. When did she learn knife throwing? No problem. You will know when I perform in a while. Yang Ming smiled indifferently. Why don't we try it now? He didn't need Lin Jiyun's knife to aim at the apple on his head, but he used the apple to welcome the knife thrown by Lin Jiyun. Why don't we try a knife throwing? Do you want to change now? Although Lin Jiyun felt that Yang Ming's movements were magical, she was still a little timid. Why don't we practice with the chopsticks again? Alright, then let's practice with the chopsticks again. Yang Ming wasn't in a hurry. Anyway, there were still a few days before the art festival. It didn't matter if he practiced with the chopsticks first. Chopsticks didn't have much lethality, so Lin Jiyun wasn't afraid that she would hurt Yang Ming. After throwing a few chopsticks, she didn't have the previous timidity. Instead, she felt that it was quite interesting. Chen Mengyan was eating cantaloupe on the side. After eating for a while, she joined the group with Lin Jiyun. However, although the two of them threw the chopsticks together, Yang Ming could still respond well. None of the chopsticks missed. Moreover, Yang Ming's movements were swaying, but the apple on his head didn't fall. I didn't expect you to be so good. Chen Mengyan sighed. If you don't have a meal in the future, you can do acrobatics. Okay, then the two of you will cooperate with me. With a beauty and acrobatics, it will definitely sell. Yang Ming smiled. They threw the chopsticks for a while, but but it didn't take long for Chen Mengyan to start to play tricks. When Lin Jiyun threw it up, she threw it down. When Lin Jiyun threw it to the left, she threw it to the right. Yang Ming was so tired that he had to do some extreme movements. Chen Mengyan, are you doing it deliberately? Although Yang Ming wasn't tired, it was inevitable that he would be a little angry if it continued like this. No, aren't we practicing with the knife throwing? I will also help Sister Lin practice. Chen Mengyan looked at Yang Ming innocently. Then why did you throw it in the opposite direction of Jiyun? Yang Ming was so angry that his teeth were itching. Looking at Chen Mengyan's big watery eyes, he couldn't get angry. I didn't. I can't guess Sister Lin's thoughts. Maybe it's a coincidence? Chen Mengyan blinked and spread her hands, indicating that she was wronged. Yang Ming looked at Chen Mengyan's expression. He was annoyed and amused. He had to say, coincidence, right? But once or twice is fine. Let me see if there are any more coincidences in a while. Okay? Chen Mengyan said and threw the chopsticks in the opposite direction of Lin Jiyun. Therefore, Yang Ming couldn't bear it. He hugged Chen Mengyan and started a fight. It didn't take long for it to affect Lin Jiyun. The three of them went to the bed together and forgot that they were practicing the knife-throwing technique. Chapter 13:10. Ren Jianren paid the bill and walked out of the Ju Yuan Chun Hotel with some pride. He finally reached a consensus with Yang Ming to perform on the same stage. In fact, it was a competition. A competition that could save the face of the Taekwondo club. Therefore, Ren Jianren must seize this opportunity. This was his only chance to turn the tables. If he couldn't grasp it, he would be completely finished. It was better to close his own Taekwondo club so as not to embarrass himself. Returning to the Taekwondo club, Ren Jianren looked at the empty club hall with emotion. Once upon a time, the Taekwondo club was overcrowded. To sign up for the Taekwondo club, you had to go through a basic exam. You even had to find a good person to intercede and treat yourself to a meal before you could enter the Taekwondo club. At that time, Ren Jianren clenched his teeth. All of this was thanks to Yang Ming. From a huge Taekwondo club with hundreds of members, it shrank to a small club with only a dozen members. Among these dozen members, except for the club leader like Li Jiasheng, the rest were their classmates and best friends. No outsiders came to join the Taekwondo club. A few days ago, another vice president, Lu Zhaojun, was arrested by the police because of a crime. The Taekwondo club was even more empty. Li Jiasheng was still practicing. The rest of the people were the real elites of Taekwondo. But even so, the Taekwondo club was looked down upon. The president of the Taekwondo club couldn't even beat a freshman student. Who would join this Taekwondo club? Li Jiasheng saw Ren Jianren push the door and come in. He stopped his hand and walked over. Jianren, how is it? Fuck, I told you not to call me Jianren in the future. Last time, Yang Ming called him a bitch in front of many classmates on the stage, which made Ren Jianren very rude. Well, President Ren, didn't you go to Yang Ming? How is it? What did this kid say? Do you dare to fight? Li Jiasheng smiled. He was just joking. Ren Jianren's name was not good. It was good to read together, but when separated, it became bitch. Yang Ming agreed, but he proposed a strange way of competition. Ren Jianren nodded and said, "Oh. What way?" As long as we have the confidence to get back our face, he can propose any way. Li Jiasheng said after listening. Yes, that's what I think. Ren Jianren nodded. As long as we can let Yang Ming give us a chance, we can restore the reputation of the Taekwondo club. We can't let him propose a competition. It's agreed. Calmly was Jianren. Of was Jiasheng of Li. Li Jiasheng said. Li said. Him. I also invited him to the Ju Yuan Chun restaurant at the entrance of the school before he agreed. This kid is smart and won't lose out. Ren Jianren didn't know that Yang Ming had just eaten at the Songjiang International Hotel. Otherwise, he wouldn't say that. He thought that Yang Ming was a person who didn't usually eat at restaurants. Hee, what's a meal? When our Taekwondo club regains its reputation, we can collect a lot of registration fees. Selling those training suits and teaching materials is also a large income. Li Jiaxing said with a smile. Moreover, the most important thing is that we can get funding from the student union. The more members we have, the more funding we can get. That's true. This meal didn't cost much. It only cost less than 100 yuan. That kid is easy to fool. He hasn't seen much of the world. Ren Jianren laughed. Right, you have been talking for a long time. You haven't said what Yang Ming wants to compete with us. Do we have the confidence to win? Li Jiaxing waved his hand and put away his joking attitude. Yang Ming wants to compete with knife throwing. Ren Jianren sat on the rest seat, and Li Jiaxing also sat next to him. He wants to compete with us in knife throwing. What? Knife throwing? Li Jiaxing opened his mouth wide in astonishment. He found it incredible. How can there be knife throwing in our Taekwondo? Nonsense. If I want to compete with Taekwondo, will Yang Ming agree? Ren Jianren frowned. Yang Ming doesn't know anything about Taekwondo. If I want to compete with him in Taekwondo, this kid will refuse directly. That's true. After Li Jiaxing listened, he nodded in agreement. I forgot that we really can't compete with Yang Ming in Taekwondo. That's right. During the competition last semester, he said that he doesn't know Taekwondo. Ren Jianren said, moreover, if he comes to kickboxing again, it will be fucked up. In his concept, bringing a brick is also called kickboxing. This time, he brings a shovel. No matter how powerful I am, I can't beat a shovel. I am not from Shaolin Temple. Also, this kid has never played by the rules. Then, this knife-throwing contest seems to be quite reliable now. Li Jiaxing thought about it carefully. Ren Jianren's words were very reasonable. Yang Ming could do something like the brick-breaking martial arts. What else couldn't he do? So, when I heard him propose this knife-throwing idea, I agreed. Ren Jianren said, the way of the competition is like this. Each of us will find a partner, and then each of us will have an apple on our head. Let the partner shoot this apple with a throwing knife. In the same time, whoever shoots the most apples will win. Oh. You mean, let me be your partner? Do I throw the knife, or do you throw the knife? Li Jiaxing was not stupid. In this Taekwondo club, except for Ren Jianren, only Li Jiaxing could count. Another vice president, Lu Zhaojun, was arrested and sent to the police station. The rest of the people couldn't do it. Of course, you throw the knife. Didn't you practice shot put before? Ren Jianren said, your throwing is still very accurate. If you train, there should be no problem. I think Yang Ming can't find a knife-throwing master in a short time. I think his idea today is completely improvised. That's not necessarily true. What if he wants to hire a knife-throwing master at a high price? Li Jiaxing thought of a very serious problem. You are stupid. This is an art festival organized by the university. The review of the art festival program has explicit regulations. The participating performers must be students of the university. Undergraduate students, graduate students, doctoral students, and even graduates can't participate. Where can Yang Ming find a knife-throwing master area? Ren Jianren snorted and said with some disdain, if there is such a knife-throwing master in the university, how can we not know? That's right. I have never heard of such a knife-throwing master in the university. Li Jiaxing nodded self-deprecatingly. They were also the people of the university's martial arts world. If there was such a knife-throwing master, it was impossible not to know. I think too much. Then, let's practice. We really have the chance to win. But, are you sure you're aiming? Don't hurt me. After Ren Jianren and Li Jiaxing finished discussing, they were a little worried. Although Li Jiaxing started out as a shot putter, he also threw javelins and the like. His accuracy was still good, but after all, the knife throwing had to be thrown at the apple on the head. What if he was not careful and hurt himself? Don't worry. I will find a target to practice first. If I don't have full confidence, I won't dare to greet your head. If you, the president, are hospitalized, our taekwondo club will be finished," said Li Jiaxing. "That's good. Then let's start training tomorrow. There are still 5 days before the art festival. It should be enough, right?" Ren Jianren looked at the date on his mobile phone and said, "Enough. It's very enough." Li Jiaxing nodded. "This time, we must win this round. I have had enough. The group of bastards in the school's martial arts association look down on me. They don't even look at me when they walk. This time, the Muay Thai friendship match also doesn't allow our taekwondo club to participate. Isn't this looking down on us? Motherfucker." Ren Jianren slammed his fist on the rest chair and scolded fiercely, "This time, let those people who look down on us gouge their eyes out and let them see that our taekwondo club is the most powerful." So, Li Jiaxing found a target and began to practice knife throwing. While he was practicing knife throwing, Ren Jianren also began to practice standing with the apple on his head. Li Jiaxing's practice was one aspect, but Ren Jianren also had to be able to hold the apple. Otherwise, before he could throw the knife, the apple would fall to the ground. Wouldn't it be a waste of time and be despised by others? However, Ren Jianren was a taekwondo practitioner after all. His balance and coordination were good, so when he held the apple on his head, he was a little unstable at first. However, after practicing a few times, he could walk with the apple on his head. Similarly, in fact, Li Jiaxing's strength was not weak. He could become the vice president of the taekwondo club. He was also very capable. However, Ren Jianren was beaten by Yang Ming so badly that he, Li Jiaxing, also suffered. However, Li Jiaxing couldn't blame Ren Jianren. After all, it was he and Lu Zhaojun who caused the trouble. If the two of them didn't beat Zhang Bin, Yang Ming wouldn't have stood up for Zhang Bin and challenged Ren Jianren. Therefore, Li Jiaxing couldn't blame Ren Jianren. He could only blame Yang Ming for being too insidious and cunning. With this opportunity, he must take revenge. Therefore, after Li Jiaxing knew the content of the competition, he began to practice throwing knives overnight. There were still 5 days. He must grasp it well and get back his face. Li Jiaxing had the foundation of shot put and javelin. His arm strength was good and stable. He just needed to strengthen his accuracy training. But even so, Li Jiaxing began to practice that night. It could be seen that both Ren Jianren and Li Jiaxing worked hard for the competition with Yang Ming at this art festival. But what about Yang Ming at this moment? But as he practiced with Chen Mengyan and Lin Jiyun under the quilt. Yu Qi, who was Yang Ming's 5th cousin and 5th uncle's son, begged his mother. Yang Ming had no choice but to arrange for Yu Qi to be an employee in Ming Yang Entertainment. However, Yu Qi was very arrogant in the company because he was introduced by Yang Ming through the boss of Ming Yang Entertainment. He announced everywhere that he was personally placed in the company by the boss. However, many people believed it. They were usually in awe of Yu Qi, some were flattering, and some were dismissive. Yu Qi was a prodigal son. How could he work in the company with peace of mind? However, he was placed in by Yang Ming. When Ho Zhenhan heard that he was Yang Ming's 5th cousin, he didn't dare to do anything to him. He thought that Yang Ming was just arranging an idle relative to get a salary for free, so he didn't arrange for him to do anything. He just let him do whatever he wanted. So Yu Qi was even more proud and arrogant. He idled around all day like a loafer in the company. He looked like he was the leader of the company. He wanted to criticize everything he saw. Seeing him like this, Ho Zhenhan didn't care about him. More and more people in the company believed that Yu Qi had a strong background. Some of the girls who worshipped money also wondered if they could hook up with Yu Qi and get a rich husband. Wang Xiaoran was one of them. She thought that she looked pretty good. However, in this day and age, a middle-aged woman could become an 18-year-old non-mainstream woman with makeup. Therefore, Wang Xiaoran was still very confident in her appearance after makeup. In particular, Wang Xiaoran was also good at makeup. She painted herself very cute, so that men would be attracted when they saw her. Wang Xiaoran's family wasn't very good, but it wasn't too bad. However, she wanted to marry into a wealthy family since she was a child. She caught a rich husband. She had a few boyfriends, but she felt that the other party didn't have money. Wang Xiaoran had a boyfriend who had even reached the point of marriage. However, Wang Xiaoran unexpectedly met a mature man in a business. The most important thing was that this man was very rich. After almost a meal, Wang Xiaoran stuck with him, and they got a room that night. Wang Xiaoran's boyfriend saw that his fiancée hadn't returned home in the middle of the night. He was very anxious, so he called Wang Xiaoran's cell phone. Wang Xiaoran was flirting with the man in the hotel at the moment. After picking up the phone, Wang Xiaoran still had a delicate voice, but she didn't avoid it. She said bluntly that she booked a room with a client in the hotel. At that time, her boyfriend was stunned. Naturally, the two of them broke up just like that. However, the male client was a person with a family background. He was just fooling around with Wang Xiaoran, so he simply didn't take her seriously. However, he did spend a lot of money. He bought a few LV and Gucci bags and sunglasses for Wang Xiaoran, and a few sets of branded fashion. Then, the two broke up. However, Wang Xiaoran felt that she didn't suffer a loss. She just booked a room for a few days. She didn't lose anything. If the male client was happy, she was happy. Instead of letting her boyfriend do it for free, it was better to exchange for something more substantial. In these 2 days, Wang Xiaoran stared at Yu Qi again. Although Yu Qi didn't have a luxury car, Wang Xiaoran was interested in Yu Qi's potential. Yu Qi didn't have anything else, but he could brag about his background. He said that his father and the boss of the group were very close, that his family was very rich, that he opened a breeding base, and so on. In fact, it was just a fish pond. Wang Xiaoran was actually not so easy to be deceived. However, Yu Qi was really idling in the company. President Ho Jinhan was indeed polite when he spoke to him. This created an illusion for Wang Xiaoran that this person's background was really powerful. He was in the company now just to learn experience and gain experience. There would definitely be more important positions waiting for him in the future. So Wang Xiaoran began to get closer to Yu Qi intentionally or unintentionally. However, it was helpless that Yu Qi didn't notice her because Yu Qi had put all his energy on Jing Xiaolu. Indeed, among all the young girls in the company, Jing Xiaolu was the most outstanding and the most beautiful. However, in Wang Xiaoran's view, she was just a junior. She didn't even put on makeup usually. What was she? As for those rumors in the company that said that Jing Xiaolu had a big backer, Wang Xiaoran didn't believe it. If she really had a big backer, why didn't that big backer appear once? How could her boyfriend be so powerful? Why didn't anyone come to pick her up from work? Didn't she take the subway back to school every time? Therefore, Wang Xiaoran thought that Jing Xiaolu had a backer and so on were nothing more than rumors that she made herself. There was no truth at all. In fact, this was out of a woman's complete and instinctive jealousy. Why did Wang Xiaoran believe Yu Qi when he said that he had a backer, but Wang Xiaoran didn't believe Jing Xiaolu when she said that she had a backer? However, Jing Xiaolu seemed to be disdainful of Yu Qi and ignored him. However, the more she was like this, the more Yu Qi tried to get closer to Jing Xiaolu. However, Jing Xiaolu didn't say a word to Yu Qi except for work. Seeing that Yu Qi was rejected by Jing Xiaolu again, but he still had a smile on his face, Wang Xiaoran was angry. Why? Why is Jing Xiaolu so likable, but I am ignored by Yu Qi? The more Wang Xiaoran thought about it, the angrier she became. Looking at Jing Xiaolu over there, who was as proud as a little princess, Wang Xiaoran was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Humph, Jing Xiaolu, didn't you say that you have a strong backer? Then I will ruin your reputation. Thinking of this, a vicious plan was born in Wang Xiaoran's heart. Today, as usual, Little Li in the company opened the MP community. He was bored and looked at the posts inside. Suddenly, a post's title attracted his attention. I am willing to use 1 month of my time to rent a BMW for a week. What does this mean? Little Li subconsciously clicked on the post and saw that the post said, Dear MP, hello everyone. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Xiaolu. I am a college student, 20 years old this year. I am a clerk in a very large company. I have a high education and good looks. I am posting this post because I want to use 1 month of my time in exchange for the right to use a BMW for a week. Why do I want to do this? Let me tell you the reason. The cause of the matter is like this. Chapter 13:11. Years of experience in the online community told Xiaoli that this was an interesting post, so he continued to read it attentively. As for me, I was born in a family that was not very rich, but my vanity was very strong. I often told my friends and colleagues that I had a rich boyfriend who drove me to and from work every day in a BMW to satisfy my fragile self-esteem. However, I knew that these were all lies in the end. They were all fake. I only used these vanity words to show off my identity to my friends and colleagues. In fact, not to mention a BMW, I didn't even have a four-wheeled car. I didn't even have a car that burned gasoline. I used lies to satisfy my self-esteem and vanity, but things changed last night. Yesterday, my high school classmate called and said that one of my sisters was getting married next month. She asked me to go to the wedding and asked if I could give her a car. I really didn't know what to do. I usually told them that my boyfriend often drove a BMW for me, and they believed it. I was also hot-headed and actually agreed. This is not good. Where am I going to get a BMW for her wedding car? If I had to tell the truth, I really couldn't bring myself to do it. What was said was like spilled water. How could I tell them that I had been lying to them all this while? Wouldn't I be laughed at by my sisters? Originally, they were all very envious of me. In this way, I would become the object of contempt. How embarrassing would that be? My scalp is numb when I think about it. Thinking about those sisters, many of them didn't get admitted to university, but they married a rich boss. No matter how old the other party was, they became a wife and had a lot of face at the class reunion. As for me, I was also the object of envy in the past. I had a handsome boyfriend who worked as a white-collar in the company. Every day, I drove a BMW between the school and the company. How cool was that? But all of this was going to become a dream that was shattered. I am not reconciled. If I tell the truth, how can I raise my head in the future? Thinking about this gave me a headache. I don't want to be like this. I must appear in front of my sisters and let my legend continue. I want to drive a BMW to attend the wedding. I like the feeling of being envied and flattered. I feel like I'm the center of attention. I'm the superstar of the entire venue. So, I decided that I will use my 1 month in exchange for a week's use of the BMW. Note that I have to work and go to class during the day, so it can only be at night. 30 nights of use in exchange for a week's use of the BMW should be fair, right? Below, I'll post a few photos of myself, but my face is covered first. If you want to exchange, please contact QQXXXXX first and show off your BMW and driving license. If I think it's okay, I'll send you my photos. Do not disturb the old BMWs and the 3 domestic series. That was the entire content of the post. Below the post, there were 5 photos. There was nothing to say about her figure, but her face was covered. It seemed that she wouldn't release the falcon without seeing the hair. Xiaoli felt that it was very interesting, so he called over his colleagues. Come and take a look. This post is very interesting. In exchange for a week? Let me see. Is there such a rare thing? Really? Let me see. No pictures, no truth. Damn. Is there really a picture? The colleagues gathered around and looked at the post on Xiaoli's computer screen. It can't be. Is there really such a rare thing? Didn't Old Lee from the Human Resources Department just buy a BMW? He can apply for it. Come on. People have said that they don't want domestic 3 series. Another colleague said contemptuously, this kind of person is still so picky. Why doesn't she sell it? Yeah, it's really not that good. Wang Xiaoran saw that her masterpiece was finally noticed by the company, and she was very proud. This post was written by her. She had put in a lot of effort and spent a long time making it up before finally coming up with such a shocking piece of work. Wang Xiaoran knew that her colleague Xiaoli was an MP fan. He often used MP when he had nothing to do. Her shocking masterpiece naturally couldn't escape Xiaoli's eyes. Sure enough, not long after she posted it, Xiaoli saw it. Hearing everyone's discussion, Wang Xiaoran pretended to remind inadvertently, however, isn't this photo a bit familiar? After Wang Xiaoran's reminder, everyone's eyes fell on the next few photos. Don't say, it really feels a bit familiar. Xiaoli looked at the photo and said to himself. Really? Why is the background of this photo so familiar? I seem to have seen it somewhere. A company staff pointed at the picture and said. It seems to be our company. The decoration style is very similar. Another staff member pointed and said, it seems to be our company. Now that you mention it, it reminds me. Isn't this our company's potted plant? Another company's staff exclaimed and pointed at Xiaoli's computer screen. Yes, this is the potted plant in our company's corridor. It was just put up at the beginning of this year. Yes. It's confirmed. Another person exclaimed, is this woman from our company? Look at these photos. She is wearing professional attire. Xiaolu, this woman is called Xiaolu. Could it be Jing Xiaolu? Another person pointed at the post and exclaimed. Really, this woman's figure is quite similar to Jing Xiaolu's. So another person said. It should be Jing Xiaolu. This post is similar to her. Isn't there a rumor that Jing Xiaolu has a boyfriend who drives a BMW as her backer? That's why you're doing so well in the company. So it turns out that you're just bragging? A cacophony of voices sounded. This time, she bragged too much. She started to ask for help on the internet, but she didn't expect to be exposed by us. Another voice also sounded. As a result, the sound of contempt and disdain began to spread in the company. Everyone had confirmed that this group of photos was Jing Xiaolu herself. Wang Xiaoran also began to be proud. These photos were secretly taken by her mobile phone, but the angle was very good. It looked like a pose. As a result, Jing Xiaolu's reputation was completely ruined in the company. Therefore, throughout the afternoon, Jing Xiaolu felt that everyone was looking at her with a strange look. Jing Xiaolu didn't feel anything at first, but more and more inexplicable looks and whispers behind her back made Jing Xiaolu a little annoyed. When she returned to the office, she pulled a secretary who had a good relationship with her and asked, Little Sue, what's going on? Why are the people in the company looking at me with a strange look? What's wrong with me today? Jing Xiaolu also checked herself in the mirror just now. There was nothing wrong with her dressing. What are these people looking at? Xiaolu, you really don't know? But this post can't be posted by you. Little Sue knew Jing Xiaolu better. She knew some of Jing Xiaolu's details and character, so after a little consideration, she felt that even if Jing Xiaolu wanted to borrow a BMW, she didn't need to post on the internet. With Jing Xiaolu's appearance, she could easily borrow it. What post? Asked Jing Xiaolu, baffled. You really don't know. Then wait a minute. I will find it for you. As little Sue spoke, she opened the browser, logged into the MP community, found the post that was circulating in the company, and then sent the link to Jing Xiaolu's QQ. What is this? Jing Xiaolu clicked on the webpage that little Sue sent over. She opened it and scrolled down. In the beginning, she was still reading with interest, but as she scrolled down, Jing Xiaolu's face became uglier and uglier. How could Jing Xiaolu not know who those photos were? How could she not know her own photos? Who did this? Jing Xiaolu was about to explode. Isn't this obviously a trap? Who did I offend? Why was such a post actually posted? Looking at those photos, they were obviously taken in the company. I don't know. Little Sue shook her head. I also heard from the people in the company. Now it has spread in the company. Everyone is talking about this. I'm so pissed off. Jing Xiaolu looked at the post. The more she looked, the angrier she became. No, I have to clarify. Isn't this ruining my reputation? If I want to drive a BMW, do I need to sell my body? I know you. I know that this is not your style, but others. Little Sue shook her head helplessly. Xiaolu, I guess this is a prank by someone. The more agitated you are, the more complacent he is. Let's calm down first. Who did I offend? Who did this to me? Jing Xiaolu drank some water and looked at the replies to the post angrily. There were all kinds of comments, and it was extremely disgusting. Jing Xiaolu listened to little Sue's words and thought about it. If I'm angry, won't I really follow the intention of the person who harmed me? So I have to keep calm and not be too angry. I have to think carefully about what to do. Wang Xiaoran was proud. She didn't expect the effect to be so strong. She was still worried about how this matter would spread, but she didn't expect the gossiping spirit of her colleagues to be beyond her expectations. In just one afternoon, most of the people in the company knew about it. Of course, Yu Qi also knew about this. Wang Xiaoran took the opportunity to sit next to Yu Qi. You said that this Jing Xiaolu looks very pure. I didn't expect her to be such a person. Yu Qi didn't expect that Jing Xiaolu, who he pursued, who was usually a princess, was so dirty. She was actually so dirty behind his back. She used 1 month of her own usage rights in exchange for 1 week of usage rights of the BMW. It was self-evident what this usage rights referred to. Yu Qi was naturally very clear. Therefore, Yu Qi was annoyed. I was really blind. I fell in love with such a person. Yu Qi slapped his thigh fiercely and couldn't help but curse, this bitch, I really misjudged her. Some girls who look more pure on the outside do dirty things behind my back. Wang Xiaoran said, you don't have to be sad. There are plenty of good girls. Why do you want to die for a tree? That's right. Motherfucker, I was blind before. Although Yu Qi said so, he was still very painful in his heart. He really couldn't accept this fact. How could Wang Xiaoran observe a person's body language? She saw the discomfort in Yu Qi's heart. She knew that this was a great opportunity for her, so she said, you must be uncomfortable in your heart, right? After work, I will drink with you. Let's go to the bar. Yu Qi was sullen in his heart. When he heard Wang Xiaoran's proposal, he naturally nodded and agreed. So, after work, Wang Xiaoran and Yu Qi came to a bar near the company. The two sat at the bar and began to drink. However, Yu Qi drank wine, and Wang Xiaoran mostly drank drinks. At midnight, Wang Xiaoran and Yu Qi got a room in the hotel. She was a very seductive girl. She made Yu Qi's desire burn in a few moments. The two began to make love. When everything calmed down, Wang Xiaoran looked at Yu Qi sleeping on the side. She smiled slightly, took out a nail clipper from her bag, clenched her teeth, and poked her finger hard. Blood flowed down. Wang Xiaoran smeared the blood on her finger on the sheet under her, and then wiped it on Yu Qi's lower body twice. Finally, she slept peacefully beside Yu Qi. She knew that a man like Yu Qi would definitely value a woman's first time very much. If he found out that it was not her first time, then Yu Qi would definitely treat her with a playful attitude. Therefore, Wang Xiaoran did not give up. She took advantage of Yu Qi's drunkenness to complete this feat. When Yu Qi woke up the next day, he had a splitting headache. He reached out to touch the phone on the bedside to see what time it was, but he touched a soft body. Yu Qi was shocked and immediately woke up. He turned his head and saw that it was actually Wang Xiaoran. Looking at himself and Wang Xiaoran lying on the bed naked, the scenes after getting drunk last night appeared in his mind. Although he was drunk, his body still had feelings, and he could remember some things. He and Wang Xiaoran had done what they should do. Yu Qi frowned. He liked Jing Xiaolu in his heart. He did not have much feelings for Wang Xiaoran, but he had to admit that Wang Xiaoran's temperament was still good. Yu Qi lifted the quilt. When he saw the plum blossoms on the sheet, he was shocked again. No way. Was it Wang Xiaoran's first time yesterday? Yu Qi quickly checked his lower body again and found traces of blood on it. He was more convinced of this. What should I do? Although Yu Qi had played with a lot of women in his hometown, they were all ladies in the hair salon and karaoke hall. There was nothing to worry about, but today was different. He had sex with a colleague, and it was the colleague's first time. In fact, Wang Xiaoran had already woken up. She had been pretending to be asleep. She had to wait for Yu Qi to wake up first and find the marks he made yesterday, then she would wake up. Wang Xiaoran stretched, opened her eyes, and saw the naked Yu Qi. She pretended to be surprised, widened her eyes, and screamed, "Ah, what happened? Why am I here? Yesterday, we all drank too much." Yu Qi looked at Wang Xiaoran awkwardly. He didn't remember how the two of them got a room yesterday. It was only when the last sprint was extremely refreshing that Yu Qi had a moment of sobriety, but then he was so tired that he fell asleep until he woke up this morning. Ah. Wang Xiaoran wrapped herself in the quilt. She pretended really well. If she didn't film a TV series, her talent would be buried. Sorry. Yu Qi could only say so. Although he was a prodigal son, he had never experienced such a thing. At the moment, he didn't know what to say. What's the use of saying sorry? Wang Xiaoran cried. I'm already like this. You just say sorry. I saw that you were disappointed yesterday, so I was kind enough to accompany you to drink, but you did it to me. Woo. Don't cry, Wang Xiaoran. Don't cry. Let's talk about it. Seeing Wang Xiaoran cry, Yu Qi was a little scared. He didn't know what Wang Xiaoran would do. Although he usually liked to brag, when it came to this moment, he couldn't say anything. What do you want to say? I still have a good impression of you. I treat you as a good person in my heart. I didn't expect you to do such a thing to me. Wang Xiaoran was still crying. A good impression? Yu Qi was not stupid. When he heard Wang Xiaoran's words, his mood suddenly relaxed. Since Wang Xiaoran has a good impression of me, it means that there is a way. He was afraid that Wang Xiaoran would go to the company and make things known to everyone. Then, before the matter of Jing Xiaolu was settled, he would become a beast with a human face. During this time, Yu Qi had a great time in the company. He didn't have to do any work. He could give orders easily, and he could get a salary easily. It was simply a celestial life. Usually, when he bragged to his colleagues and was flattered, Yu Qi didn't want to go back. This kind of feeling was too good. Especially when General Manager Ho Jinhan was polite to him, it made Yu Qi feel even more refreshed. Therefore, now that he heard that Wang Xiaoran was interested in him, then he would coax her. It should be fine. Anyway, he didn't intend to pursue Jing Xiaolu. Now it seemed that Wang Xiaoran was quite beautiful. It was not bad to find such a girlfriend. Therefore, Yu Qi's mind began to be active. He thought about it, organized his words, and said, Wang Xiaoran, don't cry. In fact, I also have a good impression of you. We both have a good impression of each other, so we came together. Yesterday's incident happened. You can't blame anyone, then, are you shirking your responsibility? When Wang Xiaoran heard Yu Qi say this, she was overjoyed, but she pretended to be very angry on the surface. No. I mean, can you be my girlfriend? Yu Qi said quickly. Chapter 13:12. Let me think about it. Wang Xiaoran was proud, but she said calmly on the surface. She was still weeping, and her real thoughts couldn't be seen. Yu Qi was a little perturbed. He was really a little scared. He felt that his happy and beautiful life had just begun. How could it be ruined because of Wang Xiaoran? Yu Qi found that his life in the company was much more interesting than in the small place of his hometown. In his hometown, at most, there were a few followers who followed behind him and flattered him, but here, there were n people in the company who flattered him. This difference naturally made Yu Qi feel that his life now was much better than before. Moreover, he didn't have to do anything in the company. He received his salary every month without a penny less, and he was still at the level of a middle-level leader. This made Yu Qi feel a little smug. He was afraid that once this matter spread to his cousin's ears, he might have to go home, so Yu Qi was particularly careful. Xiaoran, just promise me. What are you still thinking about? We both have a good impression of each other, and we have done what we should and shouldn't do. What else do you have to consider? Then, okay. Wang Xiaoran finally nodded reservedly and agreed to Yu Qi's pursuit. Yu Qi listened to Wang Xiaoran's affirmative reply, and his heart was overjoyed. He was full of expectations for his future life. He was in a good mood, and other thoughts were active. Looking at the lively beauty beside him, Yu Qi's heart moved. Xiaoran, it's still early. Let's do it again. I drank too much last night, and I don't remember what it felt like. You're really annoying. It's my first time. You don't know how to take care of me. Wang Xiaoran's coquettish voice softened Yu Qi's bones. Therefore, Wang Xiaoran did it again with Yu Qi under reluctance. However, Wang Xiaoran was very good at acting. There was joy in the pain, so Yu Qi did not doubt it. He thought that it was really her second time today. She thought that things would calm down after one night. After Jing Xiaolu went home, she thought about it carefully. Rumors stopped with the wise. If she was in a hurry to clarify anything, it would be suspicious. At this moment, the best way was to pretend to be deaf and mute. She pretended not to know, and things would slowly pass. However, Jing Xiaolu was wrong this time. When she came to the company early the next morning, even the company's cleaners looked at her with strange eyes. It was conceivable how fast the rumors spread. In just one night, everyone knew it. In the beginning, Jing Xiaolu was still calm, but more and more strange eyes and whispers made Jing Xiaolu feel uncomfortable. Especially when she was going upstairs, many people were still commenting on her figure. The awe that people had for her in the company was gone. Previously, most people heard that Jing Xiaolu had a very strong background. Her boyfriend had an unusual relationship with the head office's boss, so everyone was very polite to Jing Xiaolu. But now, as soon as the post was posted, many people believed it. If only one or two people said it, it would not be a big deal. However, everyone in the company said it. Everyone thought that the post was real. The rumors about Jing Xiaolu's background became that she was bragging. After all, no one had seen her legendary boyfriend. But this post on the internet was seen by everyone, so anyone would be inclined to believe the statement of the online post. Jing Xiaolu also became a liar, a gold digger, and a promiscuous woman in everyone's eyes. Jing Xiaolu was about to explode, but she couldn't help it. She couldn't control other people's mouths. She couldn't explain to everyone, right? Back in the office, Jing Xiaolu felt more and more wronged. What is this? Who was it that was so wicked to do such a thing? Am I such a cheap person? 1 month of use in exchange for 1 week of use of the BMW? Am I stupid? For the whole day, Jing Xiaolu felt dizzy. She didn't know what she was doing. She only felt that no matter where she went, there were many pairs of eyes looking at her from behind. They stared at her and whispered to each other. Although she couldn't hear what they were saying, it definitely wasn't anything good. However, Wang Xiaoran was proud. She had always regarded Jing Xiaolu as her enemy. This time, she not only got together with Yu Qi, but also ruined Jing Xiaolu's reputation. Wang Xiaoran felt that she was simply a genius. She could cause such a big storm just by posting a post. When she got off work in the evening, she was holding hands with Yu Qi. She happened to see Jing Xiaolu frowning and walking out on the first floor of the company. She couldn't help but feel a little excited. She couldn't help but go forward and say, "Xiaolu, your boyfriend who drives a BMW didn't come to pick you up?" Jing Xiaolu had never had a boyfriend who drove a BMW to pick her up since she went to work. So, Wang Xiaoran was obviously talking nonsense. She was looking for trouble. How could Jing Xiaolu not hear the sarcasm in her words? Looking at Wang Xiaoran coldly, Jing Xiaolu said, "My boyfriend is very busy." "What's the problem?" "Very busy." Wang Xiaoran blinked and said somewhat cynically, "I thought what was said on the internet was true." Jing Xiaolu glanced at the woman next to her with disgust. If it were in the past, Jing Xiaolu would have already slapped her, but now Jing Xiaolu had become much more restrained. Because Yang Ming said that he didn't like the kind of girl who was like a delinquent, Jing Xiaolu made herself change a lot. "I'm also very busy. If there is nothing, I will go first." Jing Xiaolu turned sideways and walked quickly to the door. Her figure gradually disappeared into the entrance of the subway station. Wang Xiaoran was originally proud of herself for squeezing Jing Xiaolu, but when she turned her head, she saw that her boyfriend, Yu Qi, was actually staring at the direction where Jing Xiaolu left. She was a little upset. "Can't you let it go now?" So she snorted and said, "Why? Do you still have that bitch in your heart?" "No." Yu Qi was shocked. He didn't want to offend Wang Xiaoran at this time, so he quickly shook his head. "I just see that this woman is still so arrogant at this time. She is really a cooked duck, but she is still so stubborn." Wang Xiaoran said in her heart, "You are sensible. Since you have already crawled into my pants, do you think I will let you go?" "Dear, where are we going to eat later?" Wang Xiaoran heard Yu Qi say this, and her expression became as sweet as before. "Eat? Ugh." Yu Qi only thought of a serious problem. His future expenses would be much larger than before. The few thousand yuan he earned every month might not be enough to eat with Wang Xiaoran. However, even so, Yu Qi had to bite the bullet and agree. "It seems that I have to find a way to get some money in the future," Yu Qi thought in his heart. There were classes at school in the evening. Jing Xiaolu took the subway back to the dormitory first. She planned to change her clothes and go to class, but she saw Lin Jiyun and Gu Xiniao talking about something. Jing Xiaolu was in a bad mood, and she didn't want to participate in the conversation between the two people. She nodded to them and wanted to walk into the dormitory. "Xiaolu, did you just get off work?" Gu Xiniao saw Jing Xiaolu and asked with concern. Jing Xiaolu nodded listlessly and entered the dormitory. "Xiaolu, what's wrong with you? Why do you look so glum? Is there something on your mind?" Gu Xiniao and Jing Xiaolu were more familiar with each other. The two people had been friends since childhood, so Jing Xiaolu's mood changes naturally couldn't be hidden from her. Gu Xiniao only glanced at her and saw that she was unusual. "Nothing." Jing Xiaolu sighed and shook her head because it was useless to tell Gu Xiniao about the things that happened to her. Instead, it would make Gu Xiniao worry with her. "Xiaolu, you must have something on your mind." Gu Xiniao saw Jing Xiaolu sigh, and she was even more suspicious. She held Jing Xiaolu's hand and frowned. "Xiaolu, did someone bully you?" Lin Jiyun and Jing Xiaolu were also very good friends. When she saw Jing Xiaolu like this, she also asked worriedly, "Xiaolu, what grievances did you suffer? Is it about work? Jing Xiaolu just came back from the company, so Lin Jiyun naturally thought that Jing Xiaolu was wronged because of work. Did the company's leader scold you? Go back and look for Yang Ming and tell him to fire him. Lin Jiyun wouldn't interfere with Yang Ming's affairs, but at the moment, she was just saying this to make Jing Xiaolu happy. No. Under the two people's questioning, Jing Xiaolu had no choice but to tell the whole story. I was posted on the internet. Don't you think I'm unlucky? Posted on the internet? What happened? Lin Jiyun and Gu Xinyao were both stunned. They didn't know what Jing Xiaolu meant. AI, it's not very clear. Let's do this. I'll look for you on the internet, and you will know what happened. Jing Xiaolu turned on Lin Jiyun's laptop in the dormitory, then quickly opened the browser and entered a URL. Soon, she opened the post about her. Okay, look at it. Lin Jiyun and Gu Xinyao curiously went up and looked at the post in Jing Xiaolu's mouth. They couldn't help but be more shocked. When they finally saw Jing Xiaolu's photo, Lin Jiyun exclaimed, Xiaolu, isn't this your photo? That's right. I don't know who I offended. They actually made up such a post and posted it on the internet. Although I like BMW, I won't exchange myself for it. Jing Xiaolu pouted her small mouth with grievance. Yeah, just tell Yang Ming. Why do you need to do this? Gu Xinyao also interjected. Jing Xiaolu quickly glared at Gu Xinyao. She and Yang Ming actually had nothing to do with each other. Gu Xinyao didn't know and misunderstood their relationship, but Lin Jiyun definitely knew. So when Gu Xinyao said this, Lin Jiyun would inevitably ask something. Gu Xinyao thought that Jing Xiaolu was hindered by Lin Jiyun here, so she smiled and closed her mouth. However, Lin Jiyun nodded after listening to Gu Xinyao's words. Yeah, if Xiaolu likes it, ask Yang Ming to lend you the car for a few days. Seeing that Lin Jiyun didn't suspect anything, Jing Xiaolu was relieved. I don't have to drive a BMW, but this post is too annoying. How can it be like this? How can I raise my head in the company in the future? Indeed, Lin Jiyun and Gu Xinyao also nodded in agreement. Rumors weren't terrible. What was terrible was that everyone was spreading this rumor wildly, and then the rumor became true. Xiaolu, don't be angry. Lin Jiyun thought about it and said, I think that with this incident, someone must be framing you. Although Lin Jiyun was simple, she wasn't as ignorant as she was in the beginning. After coming into contact with business, she also understood the deception between people, so she suddenly thought of the factors behind the matter. Think about it. Did you offend someone? Jiyun is right. Xiaolu, did you offend anyone in the company? Gu Xinyao also nodded and asked. Who did I offend? It seems that I really didn't offend anyone. Jing Xiaolu thought about it carefully and shook her head. I have always been very kind now. I won't offend anyone. That's strange. Judging from the angle and location of this photo, it must be taken in your company, and it is someone who is familiar with you. So I think that the person who posted this post is likely to be an employee of your company. Gu Xinyao said. I also thought about it, but there are so many employees in the company. Who knows who posted it? Jing Xiaolu shook her head. It's impossible to find out who posted it. It's not impossible. Lin Jiyun shook her head. Xiaolu, do you know Jejia? Isn't your relationship with her very good? And, what's wrong? Jing Xiaolu nodded and asked. How could the woman around her and Yang Ming not be good? Zhou Jejia is a computer master. Lin Jiyun smiled and said, Xiaolu, don't you know? Although Jejia is only a freshman student, she has already participated in the research team organized by the university. The other team members are all graduate students or doctoral students. Ah, so powerful. Jing Xiaolu opened her eyes in surprise. She didn't expect Zhou Jejia to have this talent. It seemed that among the women around Yang Ming, none of them were useless. Yeah, especially in terms of hacking, Zhou Jiejia is even better at it. Lin Jiyun nodded and said, if you ask her for help, I believe that you can find out who did it soon. That's great. Jing Xiaolu heard Lin Jiyun's words and suddenly became spirited. She waved her small fist and said, if I find out who did it, I will definitely not spare him. However, then Jing Xiaolu was a little sad again. But, Jiejia is so busy. Can she help me? Jing Xiaolu and Zhou Jiejia had only eaten lunch together a few times. Although they seemed to be familiar with each other, who could guarantee that the relationship between the two people would be strong? It couldn't be compared to Gu Xinyao and Lin Jiyun, so Jing Xiaolu was afraid that Zhou Jiejia would not help, especially since Zhou Jiejia also participated in the research team at the university. How would she have time to care about her own things? Then, I will go back and ask for you tonight. Lin Jiyun thought about it. She didn't dare to make a decision for Zhou Jiejia and promised, but she would try her best to help Jing Xiaolu ask Zhou Jiejia for help. She was such a warm-hearted girl. Lin Jiyun felt that Jing Xiaolu was already upset enough that she was framed. If she could help her find the culprit behind the scenes and prove her innocence, she would be able to pull herself together. Jing Xiaolu, Lin Jiyun, and Gu Xinyao poured out their thoughts. Especially since Lin Jiyun promised to help her ask Zhou Jiejia for help, Jing Xiaolu felt a lot more relaxed. She was no longer as depressed as when she first came back. She changed her clothes and went to class. Lin Jiyun didn't have a class tonight. She talked to Gu Xinyao for a while and left the dormitory. She told Yang Ming that she would go back early and continue to practice the knife throwing. Xiaolu? Yang Ming waited for Lin Jiyun downstairs in the dormitory. Chen Mengyan had a night class tonight. The time difference was quite regular. Yang Ming didn't have a night class tonight, so he planned to pick up Lin Jiyun first. The two people practiced knife throwing for a while, and then wait for Chen Mengyan to finish class before coming back to pick up Chen Mengyan. After parking the car on the side, Yang Ming didn't sit in the car. Instead, he jumped out of the car and stood on the side of the road. He sat in the BMW and always attracted some gazes. Some of them were ambiguous and self-evident, which made Yang Ming feel a little uncomfortable. There were always girls who came to talk to him, which made Yang Ming sigh that college students were too open nowadays. They didn't hesitate to exchange for money and vanity in this way. Why else would the TV always show some gold diggers crying in a BMW? So Yang Ming was too lazy to deal with them. He jumped out of the car and stood aside as if the car had nothing to do with him. A few girls looked at the car and found that there was no one in the car. They looked at Yang Ming on the side and didn't connect the dots. They left with some disappointment. After all, Yang Ming was now dressed like a college student. He was wearing a Li Ning sportswear which was neat and tidy. No one would associate him with a luxury car or a rich young master. Yang Ming waited for Lin Jiyun but didn't see her. Instead, he saw Jing Xiaolu walk out of the dormitory building with her head down. She walked quickly as if she didn't see him. Yang Ming was a little curious. If it were normal times, there was no reason for Jing Xiaolu to not see him when he stood here. But at this moment, she didn't see him. He didn't know what this chick was thinking in her mind, so Yang Ming called her. Ah. Jing Xiaolu was stunned. She didn't expect someone to call her. She turned her head and found that it was Yang Ming. She was a little happy and a little annoyed. She was happy because she liked Yang Ming. She felt happy when she saw him. She was annoyed because she remembered what Wang Xiaoran said when she got off work today. This Yang Ming is too much. If he promised to let me be his mistress, he would drive me around occasionally. Wouldn't there be no rumors in the company? Chapter 13:13. However, Jing Xiaolu also knew that Yang Ming didn't have a strong feeling for her now. Maybe he had some feelings for her, but it was definitely not to the point of liking her so much. Therefore, she couldn't blame Yang Ming for this. It was normal that Yang Ming didn't pick her up. Thinking of this, Jing Xiaolu was a little discouraged. She spoke incoherently, Yang Ming? Are you looking for me? When she said this, Jing Xiaolu felt that what she said was somewhat inexplicable. Yang Ming naturally couldn't be looking for her. He was obviously waiting for Lin Jian to come downstairs. Wasn't she overthinking? She suddenly blushed. Yang Ming was a little embarrassed by Jing Xiaolu's question. If he said that he wasn't looking for her, he wouldn't give face to Jing Xiaolu. After all, she was a girl. If he refuted her like this, it wouldn't look good on her. However, if Yang Ming said that he was waiting for her here, it would feel like he was lying through his teeth. Therefore, Yang Ming really didn't know how to answer this question. It doesn't matter. Jing Xiaolu didn't take it too seriously. She was a little confused in her heart. She didn't want to say anything more. She waved to Yang Ming and said, I still have a class. I will go to class first. Looking at Jing Xiaolu's back, Yang Ming was very puzzled. What happened to this chick? It's not like her usual style. Usually, if Jing Xiaolu saw him, she would definitely pester him and talk about this and that. But today, she went to class directly. It made Yang Ming wonder if Jing Xiaolu had given up the idea of pursuing him and changed her temperament. However, Yang Ming still knew Jing Xiaolu very well. He knew that she couldn't change her temperament. If she could give up so easily, he wouldn't have persuaded her for so long without success. Therefore, Yang Ming felt that something must have happened to Jing Xiaolu. Looking at her listless appearance, she seemed to have something on her mind. Yang Ming wanted to catch up with her and say a few words of concern, but Jing Xiaolu had already gone far away. After all, the two of them were now very good friends. If something happened to Jing Xiaolu, it was impossible for Yang Ming to ignore it. At the very least, he had to ask about her well-being. Just as Yang Ming was hesitating, he saw Lin Jiyun coming out of the dormitory. Yang Ming could only give up the idea of catching up with Jing Xiaolu to ask. He waved to Lin Jiyun, Jiyun, here. Lin Jiyun came over, but she also frowned. I saw it. You are the only boy at the door. Of course, I can see it. The sky is not very dark. When Yang Ming saw Lin Jiyun frowning, he felt a little strange. What happened today? Previously, Jing Xiaolu came out with a listless look. After that, it was Lin Jiyun who looked exactly the same as Jing Xiaolu. He couldn't help but wonder, Jiyun, what's wrong with you? Why are you frowning? Lin Jiyun thought about it. She couldn't hide the fact that she went to ask Zhou Jiejia for help from Yang Ming. What's more, Yang Ming and Jing Xiaolu also knew each other. Although she didn't know if they were close, it was still necessary to tell Yang Ming. So Lin Jiyun said, Yang Ming, Jing Xiaolu. Do you know her? Lin Jiyun didn't know what happened between Jing Xiaolu and Yang Ming later. She only knew that she had some conflicts with Yang Ming and Chen Mengyan. After it was resolved, Yang Ming helped her find a job. She didn't know if they still had contact after that, so Lin Jiyun wasn't sure if Yang Ming could still remember Jing Xiaolu. I know. Of course, I know her. Yang Ming nodded and subconsciously felt that Jing Xiaolu's frown just now was related to what Lin Jiyun was going to say next. It turns out that you still remember her, that's good. Lin Jiyun was afraid that Yang Ming would forget Jing Xiaolu. If so, she couldn't continue to talk about it. How can I not remember? We had a big grudge in the beginning, but now my relationship with her is not bad. We have become friends. Yang Ming smiled and nodded. I just saw Jing Xiaolu come out of the dormitory building. I called her, but she was absent-minded. She just answered a few words and left. I don't know what happened to her. Something did happen to Xiaolu. As Lin Jiyun said this, she also sighed slightly. Xiaolu was framed. Framed? What happened? Where did this come from? Yang Ming was shocked and asked subconsciously. As his heart tightened just now, Yang Ming suddenly realized that Jing Xiaolu's position in his mind had unknowingly risen to a high level. At least, if it were in the past, he wouldn't pay so much attention to her. Whether she was framed or not had nothing to do with Yang Ming. But at this moment, after listening to Lin Jiyun's words, Yang Ming was secretly anxious. Speaking of this, it's actually a bit weird. Lin Jiyun thought about it and organized her words. How should she say it to Yang Ming? Yang Ming also opened the door of the front passenger seat and let Lin Jiyun get in. How is it weird? Isn't Jing Xiaolu in school? No one dares to provoke her? Yang Ming was a little puzzled. Isn't Gu Ximiao the big sister of your dormitory building? Who dares to bully her sister? What big sister? I'm not talking about the school. It's about the company. Lin Jiyun waved her hand. In short, it's hard to say. Anyway, I will tell you when we go home. I have to show you something first. Otherwise, it won't be clear if I just talk about it. Well, then let's go home and talk. Yang Ming nodded. Anyway, the school wasn't far from home. It was only a few minutes' drive. Yang Ming first ordered some food at a fast food restaurant in the community. He told them the delivery address and then went home. Because he had to practice throwing knives with Lin Jiyun, he didn't have time to cook. Lin Jiyun was a little distressed. She complained, "It's not as good as mine. It's so expensive. It's really not worth it. Today is not a special situation. There will be many opportunities for you to show your skills in the future." Yang Ming certainly knew that Lin Jiyun wasn't talking nonsense. Her cooking skills were taught by Shen Yueping. She had been doing housework since she was a child. She was good at cooking. Even Chen Mengyan couldn't compare to her. Lin Jiyun was just saying. She was now the vice president of the company. She couldn't be stingy about everything. This mentality still had to be changed. When they returned home, the two washed their faces first and changed into pajamas. They weren't in a hurry to practice. Lin Jiyun pulled Yang Ming into the study and then turned on the computer. Why? Do you still need a computer? Yang Ming looked at Lin Jiyun's movements and was a little curious. Yeah, someone posted a post on the internet in the name of Jing Xiaolu. The words were very bad. You will know when you see it. Lin Jiyun said as she logged into the internet and found the post about Jing Xiaolu. This post had become popular. As long as you logged into the community, you could see it. A post in the name of Jing Xiaolu? Yang Ming frowned. This kind of posting on the internet to frame others was not uncommon. When he was challenging Ren Jianren, he also used the advantage of the internet to attack Ren Jianren's taekwondo club. However, his nature was different from framing. He was just building momentum for his own side. The content of the statement was also true. Although there was an exaggerated nature, it couldn't be said to be fabrication and framing. Look, this is it. Lin Jiyun found the post about Jing Xiaolu, opened it, and pointed it to Yang Ming. Yang Ming took the mouse from Lin Jiyun's hand and began to look at the post in front of him carefully. I am willing to use 1 month of my time to rent a BMW for a week. After Yang Ming read a few lines, he frowned. It was true that Jing Xiaolu's character was somewhat materialistic. However, no matter how materialistic Jing Xiaolu was, it was impossible for her to do such a thing. She would use 30 days of her own use in exchange for a week's use of a BMW. Unless her brain was flooded with water, she would not do such a stupid thing. Although Jing Xiaolu was materialistic and had a lot of boyfriends, she had always been clean. Otherwise, it was impossible for her to maintain her virginity until now. Moreover, the most important point was that if she wanted to drive a BMW, did she still need to use this method? With Jing Xiaolu's current relationship with Yang Ming, she could just call and borrow the car. Besides, Yang Ming had promised her that he would give her a car. After reading the article on this post, Yang Ming looked at the following few pictures. It could be seen that it was indeed Jing Xiaolu. Although her face was not shown, Yang Ming was still very familiar with Jing Xiaolu's figure, especially her sets of clothes. Yang Ming had also seen them. One of them was bought for her when he accompanied her to go shopping. The people in the company gave it to her? Yang Ming was not stupid. Without Lin Jiyun saying it, he directly guessed the initiator of this matter. You think so too? Lin Jiyun was a little surprised. She didn't expect Yang Ming to come to such a conclusion after reading the post. It's very obvious. Yang Ming pointed to a few photos on the screen and said, these photos were taken in the company. The angle and quality are very good. Of course, it was definitely not taken by Jing Xiaolu herself. It must be someone else who took it secretly. Even if it was taken secretly, such an effect shows that the person who took it secretly should be very familiar with Jing Xiaolu, so Jing Xiaolu would not be guarded against him. Only the people in the company can do it. Think about it. If it was an outsider who took photos in front of Jing Xiaolu, would she not be suspicious? But if it was a colleague in the company who passed by in front of Jing Xiaolu with a mobile phone, Jing Xiaolu would naturally think that the colleague was reading the text message or checking the phone number. She would not pay any special attention. It is true, but your analysis is right. Lin Jiyun agreed. Gu Xinyao, Jing Xiaolu, and I also think so, but we don't know who made it. Didn't Jing Xiaolu say that she offended anyone in the company? Yang Ming looked at the post and asked faintly. He was already thinking about the consequences of this matter. This kind of method of framing people appeared in his own company. It was no longer a trivial matter, but a moral mistake. If he didn't curb this evil trend, and the person behind the scenes was not effectively punished, then everyone would follow suit in the future. If they were not pleasing to the eye, they would do such things. Then, the company's atmosphere would be ruined. Therefore, Yang Ming would not let it go. This was not just a matter of standing up for Jing Xiaolu, but it had risen to the entire company's atmosphere. Yang Ming must be cautious. No, Sister Xinyao and I also asked Jing Xiaolu. Jing Xiaolu couldn't think of who she had offended in the company. Lin Jiyun shook her head. Yang Ming also knew that Jing Xiaolu's character had now become much more introverted. She would not easily offend anyone. If she said so, then it should not be that she took the initiative to offend someone. Maybe she had something that hindered others. But what could make her colleague so crazy and do such a despicable thing? Yang Ming was already furious at the moment. There was actually such an employee in his company. Even if others hindered him, he didn't need to do such a thing. I will deal with this matter. Yang Ming said coldly, to put it lightly, this is just a dispute between colleagues. But to put it seriously, this person has constituted slander. We can call the police. Ah. You can call the police? Lin Jiyun didn't know this. This was also the reason why many people suffered in silence. In fact, this kind of framing and fabricating facts to maliciously hurt others had constituted slander, but Jing Xiaolu didn't know it. Yang Ming nodded and looked at Lin Jiyun. However, how did you want to solve it? I want to call Jejia and ask her to help investigate and see if we can find the person who posted the post. Lin Jiyun said. Jejia, I forgot. She is a computer expert. Yang Ming's original idea was to use his special identity to investigate this case with the help of the police. However, the computer strength of the Songjiang police wasn't good enough. The experts were all in Donghai. When handling the case, they had to be transferred from Donghai. But Zhou Jejia could play her role. Yeah, Jejia is very powerful. She should be able to help us. Lin Jiyun nodded and said. Yang Ming's previous idea was to let the police intervene in the investigation, but now that Zhou Jejia was competent, he could let Zhou Jejia investigate the truth of the matter first and let the police arrest the person directly. Of course, if Yang Ming was an ordinary person, the evidence obtained by doing this would not be accepted by the police. However, Yang Ming's identity was different. He belonged to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, so naturally, he had authority. Jiyun, you should practice the knife throwing at home first. I asked Bao Sanli to buy the target and knife throwing today. You should practice your hand feeling and accuracy first. Yang Ming said, when you get used to it, it will be fine as long as you can throw it smoothly. N, are you going to deal with Jing Xiaolu's matter? Lin Jiyun nodded and asked. I will go to the school to find Xiaolu and Jejia first, then I will go to the company. I will solve this matter tonight. Yang Ming said, right, the food will be delivered in a while. You should eat first. When Meng Yan comes back, you can eat with her. I may not come back to eat. Okay. Lin Jiyun responded. After Yang Ming finished, he went out of the house. He first called Zhou Jejia to ask what she was busy with and if she was free. Jejia, are you at school? After the phone was connected, Yang Ming asked. Yang Ming? Zhou Jejia was obviously happy when she heard Yang Ming's voice. Although she just saw Yang Ming yesterday, the time in love was always long. Although Zhou Jejia was busy every day, she still missed Yang Ming in her heart. I am at school. I am still in the laboratory. I am doing an experiment with Sister Xiaoqing. Oh, that's the case. Then, do you have time later? Yang Ming didn't expect Zhou Jejia to be busy with the experiment so late at night without rest. Later. I may be busy until late at night. Why? What's the matter? Zhou Jejia also wanted to go out with Yang Ming, but she was really busy here. She couldn't leave. This is the case. In my company, someone anonymously posted an anonymous post that slandered other colleagues. I want you to help me check and see if you can find out which computer it was posted from. Yang Ming asked. That's it. When Zhou Jejia heard that Yang Ming had a serious matter to look for her, she immediately put it in her heart. Then, I will ask Sister Xiaoqing for leave. If it was just Yang Ming who wanted to see her or find her to have a meal together, Zhou Jejia couldn't convince herself to put down her work even though she wanted to go. However, since Yang Ming had a serious matter to do, Zhou Jejia naturally had to ask for leave from Xiaoqing. That's fine. You tell Qing first. Do your thing first. I may be there in a while. I will call you when I arrive. Yang Ming said to Zhou Jejia. Yang Ming directly called Xiaoqing, Qing, because Zhou Jejia already knew about his relationship with Xiaoqing. So, he didn't have to avoid anything. Deliberately avoiding it would make Zhou Jejia feel that he didn't trust her. Yang Ming now had to find Jing Xiaolu first. Looking at Jing Xiaolu's appearance when he met her just now, Jing Xiaolu should be going to class. He didn't know if she had finished her class and if she could leave midway. Therefore, Yang Ming had to confirm in advance, so he let Zhou Jejia do her thing first. Driving to the school's College of Art, Yang Ming dialed Jing Xiaolu's mobile phone, but it was hung up after 2 rings. Maybe Jing Xiaolu was in class, so it was inconvenient to answer the phone. Sure enough, after a while, Yang Ming received a short message from Jing Xiaolu. What's the matter? I'm in class. I'm downstairs at your college. Can you come down now? Yang Ming hadn't used the mobile phone to send text messages for a long time, so he was a little rusty. He only typed a few words after a long time. He felt that it wasn't as convenient to talk on the phone, so he didn't say too much. He waited for Jing Xiaolu to come down and talk about it in detail. Jing Xiaolu was in class. Suddenly, the mobile phone in her pocket vibrated. She took it out and saw that it was actually Yang Ming calling. Chapter 13-14. However, Jing Xiaolu hesitated and still hung up the phone. Jing Xiaolu had changed a lot now. Her character was not like the delinquent girl from before. She felt that it was impolite to answer the phone in class, so she hung up the phone and sent a text message. Yang Ming rarely took the initiative to call her. It was always her who looked for him. This was the first time. After Jing Xiaolu hung up the phone, she regretted it a little. She held the phone and waited for Yang Ming's reply. After waiting for a long time, Yang Ming's message didn't come in. Jing Xiaolu was so anxious that she wanted to call back again. Yang Ming's message finally came in late. Jing Xiaolu quickly opened the message and read it. When she saw that Yang Ming said that he was waiting for her downstairs and asked if she could go down, Jing Xiaolu's heart suddenly trembled. Her face blushed like a girl who was about to welcome her first love. Her heart was beating wildly in her arms. She didn't know what to do. How can he look for me at this time? Jing Xiaolu looked at the phone in her hand and checked the phone number carefully. Yes, it is Yang Ming's phone number. However, Yang Ming and I don't have any substantial relationship now. We are just good friends. Yang Ming has never taken the initiative to look for me. What happened this time? Could it be that when I just came out of the dormitory building, I was a little dazed? Yang Ming saw it and Yang Ming was concerned about me? Thinking of this, Jing Xiaolu's heart was sweet as if she had eaten honey. However, Jing Xiaolu quickly regained her calmness. Jing Xiaolu wasn't stupid. This idea was too whimsical. If she were Lin Jiyun, Yang Ming would definitely care about her, but she wasn't. She was just a friend of Yang Ming, just an ordinary friend. Yang Ming wouldn't care about her so much. Thinking of this, Jing Xiaolu was a little discouraged. Maybe I thought too much. But no matter what, it was good to see Yang Ming. Previously at the dormitory entrance, Jing Xiaolu didn't talk too much with Yang Ming. Her bad mood was one of the reasons, but it wasn't the main reason. The main reason was that Jing Xiaolu knew that Yang Ming was waiting for Lin Jiyun, and Lin Jiyun was going to come downstairs soon. If Lin Jiyun noticed something when she was pestering Yang Ming, it would be a little bad. So, Jing Xiaolu hurriedly left after saying a few words to Yang Ming, but it didn't mean that Jing Xiaolu didn't want to spend more time with Yang Ming. Now that Yang Ming took the initiative to contact her, no matter what, it was a good start. Even if he called her out of the classroom and tormented her, Jing Xiaolu felt that she had made progress compared to before. Thinking of this, Jing Xiaolu couldn't help but be happy again. However, why did it feel a little like self-abuse? Jing Xiaolu raised her hand and asked for leave from the teacher. Teacher, I'm not feeling well. I want to go back early. It was always much easier for female students to ask for leave than male students. Before Jing Xiaolu finished speaking, the male teacher who taught the theory class in front of her waved his hand, indicating that Jing Xiaolu could go. There were many reasons that the male teacher was embarrassed to ask because there was a male teacher who had just graduated who was more serious. A female student wanted to ask for leave, saying that she was not feeling well. The male teacher looked left and right, but he couldn't see the female student's discomfort. So, the male teacher didn't allow it. He had to ask the female student. Since she was not feeling well, then what was wrong with her? As a result, the female student was also very angry. She used to ask for leave in front of other teachers, and it was very smooth. Why was she blocked here today? Moreover, this female student was indeed very anxious. The male teacher still didn't let her go. In a hurry, the female student shouted, "Teacher, I'm bleeding down there. The sanitary napkin can't hold it. It's going to leak. I'm in a hurry to change it. Do you want to see?" As a result, the male teacher was so embarrassed that his face turned red. From then on, he didn't dare to simply ask the reason why the female student asked for leave. With the male teacher as an example, the other teachers also learned to be smart. They turned a blind eye to the female student's request for leave. Jing Xiaolu came out of the class smoothly. When she went downstairs, she saw Yang Ming standing at the entrance of the Academy of Arts. His bleak appearance in the cold wind made Jing Xiaolu's heart beat faster. "Yang Ming? Are you looking for me?" Jing Xiaolu's face was red like a ripe tomato. Looking at Yang Ming, she blinked her eyes, and there was a faint smile at the corner of her mouth. Yang Ming was stunned by Jing Xiaolu's appearance. She looked like she had lost her soul just now. How did she become like she had won the lottery in the blink of an eye? Xiaolu, why do you look so happy? Yang Ming couldn't help but ask. Happy? Yeah, I've always been very happy. Today, you asked me out, so I'm even happier. Jing Xiaolu said heartlessly. Ugh. Yang Ming was stunned. If he didn't see the post on the internet with his own eyes, he even thought that Jing Xiaolu was fine at all. Weren't you crestfallen before? Just when I met you before? Oh, that's the company's matter. It has nothing to do with you. It's nothing. Mentioning that matter, Jing Xiaolu's brows frowned slightly. She seemed to be a little unhappy again. Xiaolu, Jian told me what happened. Yang Ming looked at the carefree Jing Xiaolu and fell into bitterness for a moment. He knew that this matter still brought her a lot of trouble. Her happy look just now may really be because I asked her out. Thinking of this, Yang Ming was a little embarrassed. I simply asked her out, but it made this girl so happy. You know. Hearing that Yang Ming already knew, Jing Xiaolu didn't hide it anymore. She sighed. I don't know who I offended. Why am I so unlucky to be posted on the internet? I'm looking for you because of this matter. I have already called Jejia. We will go to the company in a while and let Jejia find out which computer the post was posted from, said Yang Ming. Jing Xiaolu was a little surprised and a little happy. She didn't expect Yang Ming to come for her matter. It was already so late. After Yang Ming learned from Lin Jian that something happened to her, he rushed here and planned to solve the matter for her overnight. This made Jing Xiaolu feel a little flattered. Indeed, she was flattered. Jing Xiaolu had always appeared in front of Yang Ming in a manner of chasing after him. Yang Ming, except for treating her as a friend, had never expressed anything else. But this time, even if it was out of concern for an ordinary friend, Jing Xiaolu was also satisfied. You want to stand up for me? Jing Xiaolu looked at Yang Ming excitedly. I knew it. You definitely can't ignore me. What do you mean by standing up for you? Yang Ming was a little amused. My main purpose this time is to clean up some villains in the company. They actually use such despicable means among colleagues. Such a person is not qualified to continue to stay in the company. Yang Ming was a little amused. Although you said so, I also know that you care about me. Jing Xiaolu smirked proudly. If it were someone else, how could you do this overnight? Wouldn't you have gone home to be intimate with Sister Lin? Yang Ming was a little dumbfounded after listening to Jing Xiaolu's words. What do you mean by going home to be intimate? However, he couldn't refute it. He could only snort to express his dissatisfaction with her words. But Jing Xiaolu didn't care at all. Forget it. If you don't want to say it, then don't say it. I know even if you don't say it. Well, you are my friend. Even if it's out of normal concern for a good friend, can't I stand up for you? Yang Ming shrugged. I know what you think in your heart, but I am good to you, not because of that kind of relationship. Jing Xiaolu stuck out her tongue. I didn't say that. Why are you feeling guilty? Yang Ming often lost in front of Jing Xiaolu, but he didn't care. This little girl was very smart, brave, and resourceful. Yang Ming couldn't win against her. Get in the car and pick up Zhou Jejia. I drive? Jing Xiaolu actually didn't have to drive, but she was a little annoyed when she thought of Wang Sharon's words to her today. It was best to borrow Yang Ming's car for a few days and let the people in the company see that she already had a BMW. She didn't need to rely on the exchange method mentioned in the online post. You can drive if you want. Yang Ming was happy to save trouble. He handed the key in his hand to Jing Xiaolu. However, this is the last time you drive my car. What do you mean? Jing Xiaolu took the car key happily. After hearing Yang Ming's words, her expression suddenly froze. She originally planned to ask Yang Ming to lend his car for a few days. Now, listening to Yang Ming's words, it seemed that he didn't intend to let her drive his car in the future. What's wrong? Yang Ming didn't know Jing Xiaolu's thoughts. When he saw her somewhat lost expression, he was puzzled. What's with your expression? I was just about to tell you a good thing. You don't seem very happy. What good thing? Jing Xiaolu asked subconsciously, but her expression was not very happy. She thought, you don't want to lend me your car. What good thing can it be? I asked Bao Sanli to book a car. Maybe in these 2 days, you can get the key. Yang Ming looked at Jing Xiaolu's expression. He still felt that something was wrong. How did I provoke her? Why are you suddenly so gloomy? Car key? Jing Xiaolu was stunned and immediately reacted. She exclaimed excitedly, you bought a car for me? Looking at the huge difference in Jing Xiaolu's expression before and after, Yang Ming shook his head helplessly. Didn't I promise you before? I will buy a car for you. I have to keep my word, right? Yang Ming, you are so good. I love you. Jing Xiaolu hugged Yang Ming's neck without warning and kissed Yang Ming's face. According to Yang Ming's reaction speed, he could naturally push Jing Xiaolu away before she came over. However, Yang Ming did not do so because Jing Xiaolu was now completely instinctive and unintentional. He didn't need to be so heartless. Moreover, Yang Ming still had some feelings for Jing Xiaolu now. He didn't resist continuing to develop with her, but things always had to go with the flow. So after Yang Ming let Jing Xiaolu kiss him, he said, don't mess around. He. Jing Xiaolu let go of Yang Ming and danced excitedly. I finally have a car. I have my own car. Let's see what the people in the company will say. The car is not yours. Yang Ming timely poured cold water on Jing Xiaolu. He didn't want Jing Xiaolu to think that giving her a car represented his intention or hint. This was just a promise. The car's license is written with the company's name. That's better. It saves me the time to explain. If it was written with another name, others would think that I exchanged it in another way. Jing Xiaolu didn't care at all. Moreover, I don't have to pay the fines in the future. They are all sent to the company. Yang Ming was a little dumbfounded when he heard Jing Xiaolu's words. Can't you say something serious? You still want to pay the fines? Are you kidding? My skills are very good now. I don't even violate the rules. Jing Xiaolu shook her head and said, right, then let's talk about business. What kind of car did you buy for me? It won't be too embarrassing, right? Isn't it AX5? Didn't we talk about this car last time? Yang Ming was stunned. This chick still doesn't know what car I gave her, but she is already so excited. It's really a BMW. Yang Ming, I love you. Jing Xiaolu exclaimed and wanted to hug Yang Ming again. This time, she was pushed away by Yang Ming. Okay, don't go too far. If Zhou Jiejie sees it later, let's see if she will still help you. Yang Ming glared at Jing Xiaolu. Jing Xiaolu snorted. Apparently, she was dismissive of Yang Ming's words. She got in the car and drove to the School of Computer Science with Yang Ming. On the way, Yang Ming called Zhou Jiejie and told her that he had already picked her up. He asked her to go downstairs as soon as possible. Zhou Jiejie responded and went to Shaoqing to ask for leave. Then, she went downstairs. Zhou Jiejie went downstairs. Yang Ming couldn't sit in the front passenger seat anymore. He opened the door and sat in the back with Zhou Jiejie. Jing Xiaolu became the real driver. Xiaolu, do you know how to drive? Zhou Jiejie was a little surprised. She didn't expect that the person driving was actually Jing Xiaolu. In the company, sometimes I drive. Jing Xiaolu turned her head and smiled at Zhou Jiejie affectionately. Jiejie, I've troubled you this time. It's so late already. I even made you come out because of my matter. It's okay. Since you need me, of course, I can't refuse. Zhou Jiejie said, what the hell is going on? Can you tell me? Yang Ming didn't explain it clearly on the phone just now. He only said a few words. And then on the way to the company, I will tell you. Jing Xiaolu started the car and told Zhou Jiejia the whole story while driving. The matter was not complicated, so Zhou Jiejia quickly understood. It should be that Jing Xiaolu's colleague posted a post on the MP community to frame Jing Xiaolu. It turns out to be like this. If the person who posted the post doesn't know computer technology, it should be very easy to check. As long as it is determined that the post was posted from the company, then there is no problem. Zhou Jiejia said after listening. The machines in the company are regularly maintained. Among the employees, there shouldn't be anyone who knows too much, right? Jing Xiaolu thought about it and said. And, just make sure that the IP address of the post is not the company's external IP address. Zhou Jiejia said, everything can wait until we get there. Right, Jiejia, can you use hacking skills to delete the post? It is always posted on the internet. It has a bad impact on Jing Xiaolu. Now, only the company knows about it. If Xiaolu's classmates see it, things will be out of control. Yang Ming asked with some concern. This was also the problem that Jing Xiaolu was worried about, but it was not appropriate to tell Zhou Jiejia now. She originally planned to go to the company and find out who did it, then ask Zhou Jiejia to do it. However, Yang Ming said it for her first. Jing Xiaolu thought, Yang Ming is really treating me differently now. Regardless of whether he admits it or not, he must have a good impression of me. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so concerned about me. Yeah, Jiejia, I am also worried that others will see it. Jing Xiaolu said, if the people in the company see it, they will see it. If the teachers and classmates at school see me, what should I do? Yang Ming was secretly amused. You used to dress like a delinquent girl and cheat men of money all day long. Why aren't you afraid of others gossiping? Now you are worried? However, Yang Ming didn't say it. After all, Jing Xiaolu had changed now. She was developing in a good direction. Let bygones be bygones. Hee, what hacking skills do you need? Zhou Jiejia smiled and shook her head. There is no need to make such a big fuss. I have a netizen who is the administrator of the MP community. If I tell him, the post can be deleted. It is not so troublesome. I can ask him about the IP address of the post. Wow. Jiejia, you are so powerful. You actually know so many powerful people? Jing Xiaolu was surprised and envious. It's just some netizens who work with computers. It's nothing. Being praised by Jing Xiaolu, Zhou Jiejia blushed. She thought, reality and the internet are really different. I was praised by thousands of admirers on the internet, but I didn't feel like this now. Right, do you have the company's access card? Yang Ming suddenly thought of a problem. It is so late. There should be no one in the company. How do we get in? I have the access card, but I don't have the key downstairs. Jing Xiaolu spread her hands and said, the company will lock the door every night. I don't know if anyone is working overtime today. Yang Ming couldn't rely on luck. He took out his mobile phone and called Bao Sanli, asking him to rush to the company immediately to wait for him. Bao Sanli was used to Yang Ming often looking for him in the middle of the night, so he immediately put on his clothes and rushed to the company. Bao Sanli bought a house near the company. Now he didn't live in the Nightless Club. After the Nightless Club was incorporated into Ming Yang Entertainment, it began to implement formal management. It also gave up the previous guarding method. The security guards of the Ming Yang Security Company maintained the order of the nightclub. Therefore, Bao Sanli could get to the company in 5 minutes. When Yang Ming's car stopped at the company's entrance, Bao Sanli was already waiting at the door. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.